Chapter 51-21. Cui Hongshan and Dui Qiming looked at each other and exchanged glances, waiting for Zhuo Hongshan to speak. By now, everyone knew that Xiang Yang had to be the first to fight. He had to face the challenge from the Heavenly Thunder Palace. With Kuang Tian's ruthlessness, he would definitely send a powerful disciple. If Xiang Yang wasn't injured in this battle, how could Kuang Tian give up? It was the same for the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Whoever fought the Heavenly Thunder Palace had to be injured. Otherwise, Zhishuanzi wouldn't agree. If it was the disciple of Reverend Miyu, it would be even worse. Since that was the case, how could the Myriad Thunder Valley injure both Xiang Yang and Yan Qinglian? I will fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Zhuo Hongshan didn't allow Xiang Yang and Yan Qinglian to say more. Mistress. Yan Qinglian bit her lips and whispered, "You are old, I'm not old yet." Zhuo Hongshan said faintly, "Moreover, I am the leader of the Myriad Thunder Valley now. I will do as I say." Senior sister. Cui Hongshan hurriedly said, "There are variables in the Heavenly Thunder Palace. You should fight them." Heavenly Thunder Palace. Yan Qinglian was hesitant. She glanced at Xiang Yang. Previously, everyone had discussed it and knew that the Heavenly Thunder Palace had a higher chance of winning. How could it be the variable that Cui Hongshan mentioned? This was clearly Cui Hongshan's white lie. Zhuo Hongshan smiled and held Yan Qinglian's hand, saying, "That's right. Qinglian, I went to the Jade Archive Hall a few days ago and know that Martial Uncle Zhen Qing isn't here. There are variables in the Heavenly Thunder Palace. I will rely on you for this battle." Martial Uncle Zhen Qing isn't here. Yan Qinglian was slightly stunned. She originally wanted to argue, but she didn't know what to say now. Thus, she nodded and said, "All right, I will fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace." Fong Liha. Without waiting for everyone to speak, Cui Hongshan said sternly, "Fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace." "Yes, I understand." Fong Liha was overjoyed. Zhen Quan immediately shouted, "Martial Uncle Cui, how can you let Liha fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace? His cultivation is higher than mine. He should fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace." You. The Earthly Thunder Palace was as dangerous as the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Both of them were bound to be injured. Fong Liha and Zhen Quan were fighting to go up. How could she not be hurt by such brotherly affection? As soon as Zhuo **** cried, everyone was filled with grief. The female disciples lowered their heads to wipe their tears, while the male disciples bit their lips, their eyes red. You are all good children." Zhuo **** whispered. "It's all because of my incompetence. Instead of letting the Myriad Thunder Valley bring you glory, you have to sacrifice yourself for the Myriad Thunder Valley." Grandmaster. Zhen Quan and Fong Liha knelt in front of Grandmaster Zhuo and kowtowed. "Disciples are willing to fight for Myriad Thunder Valley. I can die without regrets." The words, "I can die without regrets," caused tears to flow down Zhuo Hongwu's face. Liha will fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Zhuo Hongwu clenched her fists so tightly that the knuckles on her hands had already turned white. Without any hesitation, she said word by word. "Thank you, Grandmaster." Fong Liha was overjoyed and agreed. His right hand grabbed Zhen Quan, who was also kneeling beside him, and he said, "You will fight the Mythical Thunder Palace. If you and I are of one heart, we can cut through gold." "All right." Zhen Quan stretched out his left hand, and Fong Liha also stretched out his left hand. The two of them shook hands and said, "If we are of one heart, we can cut through gold." "That's right." Zhuo Hongwu also wiped away the tears in her eyes and shouted, "If our Myriad Thunder Valley is of one heart, we can cut through gold." Yes, if the myriad Thunder Valley is of one heart, we can cut through gold. Everyone roared in unison, as if they wanted to shout out the injustice in their hearts, the joy in their hearts, and the grief in their hearts. Eldest senior marshal brother. Just as everyone's roars soared into the sky, a voice came from afar. Eldest senior marshal brother. Xiang Yang's figure trembled, and he hurriedly looked in the direction of the voice. Unfortunately, he saw a middle Jindan stage cultivator in a gorgeous Taoist robe flying over with an anxious look on his face. Apart from disappointment, there was also a trace of relief. Diheng, you've finally returned to the mountain. Xiang Yang's figure moved, and he went up to greet him, saying, the last time I saw you seemed to be 5 years ago, right? Eldest senior marshal brother. Qian Diheng didn't have time to answer Xiang Yang's question, and hurriedly asked, what happened to the myriad Thunder Valley? Why did you fight with my heavenly Thunder Palace? I heard from my grandfather that he wanted to show his strength to you, so you must. Speaking up to hear, Qian Diheng looked at the disciples of the myriad Thunder Valley not far away, and didn't continue speaking. After bowing to Zhuo Hongwu and the others, he pulled Xiang Yang to one side and whispered, eldest senior marshal brother, what's going on? Nothing. Xiang Yang had a smile on his face. Looking at Qian Diheng, who looked similar to before, Xiang Yang told him what had happened. Damn it. Hearing this, Qian Diheng immediately cursed, what does this old beggar want to do? All day long, this and that, doesn't she know it's annoying? My Imperial Thunder sect has now been reduced to a second-rate sect. Instead of reflecting on how to solve the problem of recruiting disciples and how to resist the erosion of other sects, she actually weakened her own strength here. If she wasn't the sect leader, I would have thought she was a spy from other sects. Sure. Xiang Yang's complexion changed greatly, and he hurriedly signaled Qian Diheng to be quiet. Sect leader naturally has her own thoughts. As disciples of the sect, we only need to follow her orders. Since it's an order, why do you still need to make 7 thunders dazzling sun? Qian Diheng ridiculed, you might as well clear out the myriad Thunder Valley, and then you can all merge into the 1,000 Thunder Mountain. Xiang Yang had long been used to being ridiculed, and he also knew that Qian Diheng was just angry, so he didn't care. He replied, the myriad Thunder Valley was entrusted to Master's wife by Master before he left, and it was also the sect leader Qian Lazy who promised to live forever, tch. Qian Diheng disdainfully said, is that all? You're willing to exchange your life for it? Do you know? That's why great-grandfather sent Qian Ding. Not to mention your myriad Thunder Valley, even in the entire Imperial Thunder sect, there's no Jindan cultivator more powerful than him. Contrary to Qian Diheng's expectations, Xiang Yang's eyelids didn't even move, as if he didn't know the name Qian Ding. Damn it. Qian Diheng suddenly understood. He used his hand to pull Xiang Yang's sleeve and said, could it be that this time you're the one going up? Yes. Xiang Yang said with a faint smile, since the Heavenly Thunder Palace is bound to win, naturally I, the most incompetent disciple, will be the one going up. Why don't you let Cui Hongshan go? Qian Diheng said somewhat resentfully, he only knows how to bully an honest person like you. Xiang Yang knew that Qian Diheng usually didn't like Cui Hongshan, so he said with a smile, we're all fellow disciples, so it doesn't matter who goes. Alas! Qian Diheng sighed and lowered his head in silence, as if he was thinking about something. Xiang Yang looked at Qian Diheng and felt very warm in his heart. Qian Diheng's background wasn't something Xiang Yang and the others could compare to. He also had a good temper with Xiao Hua, so he looked at the myriad Thunder Valley in a different light. Otherwise, with the strength of the myriad Thunder Valley, it was impossible for them to have any friendship with Qian Diheng. In particular, Qian Diheng's cultivation wasn't good. In these hundreds of years, who knew how many medicinal pills he had taken, and who knew how many nascent soul experts he had received guidance from, but his cultivation had only reached the middle Jindan stage, even worse than Xiang Yang. However, Qian Diheng had an extraordinary business mind. Ever since he started cooperating with Xiao Hua, he couldn't stop. Now, Qian Diheng's return of Spring Chamber of Commerce had become increasingly powerful, and it was already an extremely important place for the Imperial Thunder sect. Don't look at how Qian Diheng was merely a Jindan disciple. In front of Fairy Xian Hua, he had more face than nascent soul cultivators. No wonder Qian Diheng dared to call Fairy Xian Hua an old beggar in front of Xiang Yang. However, although Qian Diheng's reputation had risen, he was still grateful to the myriad Thunder Valley. Facing the support of the entire Imperial Thunder sect, Qian Diheng didn't dare to talk about his previous cooperation with Xiao Hua. Naturally, the myriad Thunder Valley also didn't dare to complain. Qian Diheng still took care of the myriad Thunder Valley in private. Normally, he would manage the return of Spring Chamber of Commerce outside the Imperial Thunder sect, but every time he returned, he would definitely come to the myriad Thunder Valley. Qian Diheng might not pay a visit to Zhua ******, or he might not look for Cui Hongshan, but Xiang Yang was someone he would definitely pay a visit to. This was because Xiao Hua had entrusted him several hundred years ago. Xiang Yang was an honest person, and he shouldn't let others bully him. Therefore, before Xiao Hua left, Qian Diheng might not have called Xiang Yang senior apprentice brother, but after Xiao Hua left, he would call Xiang Yang senior apprentice brother. How about this? While Xiang Yang was pondering, Qian Diheng had already made a decision. He took out a golden silk soft armor and a jade slip from his bosom and handed them over to Xiang Yang. This little brother has no way to stop grandfather's decision. Since you want to fight, then let's fight. This is a magic treasure that this little one obtained this time. Originally, I wanted to give it to grandfather, but today, I'll give it to you. This jade slip contains the refining technique. You should quickly comprehend and refine it. Although you might not be able to refine it completely, at least it can protect you from serious injuries. Remember, senior apprentice brother, you are definitely not Qian Ding's opponent. Go up and greet him a few times, then quickly admit defeat. With the protection of the spiritual armor, it won't be a big deal. While Qian Diheng was speaking, rumble. In the distant sky, a huge sound of thunder resounded. Tens of thousands of thunderbolts turned into thunderclouds and covered the Lamo mountain range. Then, amidst the thunderous roar, Fairy Xian Hua's several hundred feet tall phantom appeared like a thunder god. Along with the flickering lightning, she opened her mouth and said, "Thunder control sex disciples, humph." Glancing at Fairy Xian Hua's ostentatious thunder phantom, Qian Diheng coldly snorted and said, "What is an old beggar doing with a thunder dharma body?" Originally, she was still a middle-aged woman, but now, she has turned into an old chaff. Even if she were to strip naked and lie in front of me, I wouldn't even want to look at her. After speaking, Qian Diheng whispered to Xiang Yang, "Senior apprentice brother, this little brother is leaving. Many thanks, junior apprentice brother." Xiang Yang hurriedly cupped his hands to bid farewell. However, Qian Diheng had only flown a few feet when he hurriedly flew back. He raised his hand and threw out a few jade bottles and said, "Damn it, the old beggar spoiled my appetite. I almost forgot that these are healing pills. Quickly take them. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please go to Qidian to subscribe to support, vote for a monthly vote, vote for a recommendation vote, bookmark, gift, and thank you for all forms of support. Thank you to Guff8547985, Falling Flower Intent, Flowing Water, Cabbage, and other fellow Taoists for their support. Chapter 5122. Okay. Xiang Yang took the jade bottle and smiled as he watched Qian Diheng leave in a hurry. Senior brother. After Xiangyang returned, Cui Hongshan smiled. What did Qian Dihing reveal? Nothing. Xiangyang smiled and handed the jade bottle to Fang Lihe. He knows that my myriad Thunder Valley is going to fight against the 7 Thunder Palaces, so he sent some pills over. Martial uncle, please keep some for yourself. Fang Lihe didn't take it and said to Xiangyang first. Xiangyang waved his hand. I've already kept some, these are the rest. Fang Lihe didn't doubt him and smiled. Thank you, martial uncle. Fang Lihe didn't open the jade bottle but respectfully handed it to Zhuo Hongshan, martial ancestor. Please keep it. Zhuo Hongshan naturally wouldn't keep it for herself. She took the jade bottle with a smile and gave it to Jin Quan, Fang Lihe, and the others. As for Xiangyang, he didn't pay attention to the myriad Thunder Valley. Instead, he turned to look at Fairy Xianhua on the Thunder Arena. Fairy Xianhua explained the matter of the 7 Thunders' shining sun in a few words and finally said, since my Imperial Thunder sect has the 7 Thunders' shining sun, it's enough to show the benevolence of the heavens. Therefore, I've decided to give all the branches that are about to be cleared a final chance. As long as they can resist the other 7 Thunder Palaces, this branch will continue to be preserved. Of course, this preservation will only last for 100 years. After 100 years, I'll still clear them according to the situation. Damn old beggar. After hearing this, even someone as honest as Xiangyang couldn't help but curse. 100 years was a lifetime for mortals, but for cultivators, it was just a period of seclusion. The myriad Thunder Valley took out the Imperial Thunder sect's martial ancestor personally drafted the sect law, and Fairy Xianhua offered her authority as the sect master. Even if the myriad Thunder Valley won the 7 Thunders' shining sun, they would definitely be cleared out by Fairy Xianhua after 100 years. Xiangyang turned his head and saw that everyone in the myriad Thunder Valley was surprised. However, they all nodded slightly. Even if it was 100 years, they would still be unyielding. Even if it was 100 years, they would still stubbornly resist. 100 years could be a breather, a turning point. After 100 years, it would depend on Wu Qing and the others. I'll give everyone the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. If you want to challenge the 7 lightning's shining sun, then go to the Thunder Arena. Fairy Xianhua's figure gradually dimmed. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, the 7 lightning's shining sun will begin. Boom! 100 bolts of lightning condensed into a pillar of lightning. At the top of the pillar was a ball of lightning that looked like a ball of fire. Within the ball of lightning, a dragon appeared. It circled around the ball of lightning while devouring the pillar of lightning. It was really like a lit candle. Let's go. Xiangyang waved his hand and said, we'll go to the thunder field now. Don't fall into the trap of others and delay us. Not bad. Zhua ****'s eyes were also filled with anger as he said, even if we die, we will die honorably. Xiangyang smiled. As he flew to the Thunder Arena, he said, Mistress, you're thinking too much. This is the Imperial Thunder Sect. How can there be life and death? Cui Hongshan glanced at Xiangyang and suddenly had an ominous premonition in his heart. Xiangyang usually didn't speak much and he wouldn't respond to Zhua ****'s words. Today, he suddenly spoke a lot, which was different from usual. Thus, Cui Hongshan hurriedly reminded him, Senior brother, this is the Thunder Arena. If you want to go to the Thunder Arena, you have to go through the Life and Death Arena. Cui Hongshan had just finished speaking when a rumbling sound was emitted from the empty space at the side of the Thunder Arena in front of everyone. The distorted light trembled as an emerald green light pillar rose. After the light pillar reached midair, it gradually agglomerated. When it agglomerated into the shape of a round ball, the dragon avatar above the lightning pillar that had agglomerated in the sky suddenly let out a furious roar. The enormous dragon head leaped across the sky and pounced on the round ball. Once the dragon head collided with it, a swoosh. The round ball began to slowly vibrate. It appeared just like a chicken being split open. A crack was formed in the middle of the ball. When the dragon head transformed into an emerald green brilliance and disappeared, the crack gradually split open after the brilliance disappeared. A flat, smooth surface like a bronze mirror appeared. Seeing the mirror surface appear, the expressions of everyone in the 10,000 Thunder Valley changed greatly. They looked at the oval mirror surface and the many runes engraved on the frame. Their bodies trembled and they all stopped in midair in surprise. Life and Death Arena. Joie **** gnashed his teeth and said, "Are you forcing or threatening my 10,000 Thunder Valley?" Following Joie ***'s voice, the emerald green runes on the mirror surface of the Life and Death Arena flashed one after another. Light faintly flowed and an inexplicable fluctuation came from the mirror surface. It turned into a chill that rushed toward the people of the 10,000 Thunder Valley. Ha! Xiangyang laughed and said, "Master's wife, whether you're forcing or threatening, could it be that the disciples of my 10,000 Thunder Valley are afraid?" Good. A loud laugh came from the side of the Life and Death Arena. Kuinshin of the Earthly Thunder Palace came out from the light and held a triangular jade plate in his hand. He looked at the people of the 10,000 Thunder Valley and said, "It's rare for the 10,000 Thunder Valley to have such loyal disciples. Then sign this life and death contract and this old man will send you to the Thunder Plateau." Hall Master Kuan. Cui Hongshan said, "Seven Thunder Flashing Sun didn't say that we have to sign a life and death contract." Kuinshin didn't hesitate and said with a smile, "But Seven Thunder Flashing Sun didn't say that we can't sign a life and death contract. Since we've entered the Thunder Plateau, we naturally have to sign a life and death contract." As he said this, lightning appeared under Kuinshin's feet and he streaked across the sky and landed in front of everyone. Seeing Fairy Xianhua put on a show of strength, the people of the 10,000 Thunder Valley were filled with righteous indignation. They looked at each other and nodded. Joie **** asked, "If that's the case, should we sign it one by one or all of us?" "Naturally, we'll sign it one by one." Kuinshin raised the life and death contract and said, "Qian Ding of the Heavenly Thunder Palace has already signed the life and death contract. Whoever you want to fight the Heavenly Thunder Palace can sign it now." Qian Ding. Everyone was definitely stunned. Cui Hongshan couldn't help but cry out, Is it that Qian Ding who is known as the #1 person under Nascent Soul?" "That's right, it's him." Kuinshin replied indifferently, "How can my Imperial Thunder sect have two Qian Dings? Junior will fight Qian Ding." Xiangyang very calmly raised his hand and took out his identity token. After he activated his magic power, a misty brilliance appeared on the token and entered one of the pure red corners. Where the brilliance fell, it was like a stone falling into water, creating a layer of ripples. When the brilliance calmed down, 3 black characters appeared on the pure red corner. They were the 2 words Xiangyang. Husband. Yan Qinglian couldn't help but call out in a low voice. Xiangyang nodded at her and said, "When Li comes out of seclusion, tell him that his father is not a coward." "Husband, don't worry." Yan Qinglian bit her lips and tried hard not to let her tears fall. She said, "You will always be his role model. You wait here." Kuinshin looked at the triangular jade plate in his hand. The 2 black characters had already appeared on it. He took it carefully and said to Joie **** and the others, "I will bring Xiangyang into the Thunder Arena. After he fights with Qian Ding, I will come out to fight with the disciples of Earth Thunder Palace." After that, without waiting for Joie **** and the others to answer, Kuinshin rushed to the front of the Life and Death Temple with a flash of lightning under his feet. As Kuan-shen threw the life and death contract in his hand into the mirror, there was a swish sound, like the surface of the water being lifted. From the place where the life and death contract landed, there was a red and blue brilliance, and this brilliance was like a door opening. One side was red and the other side was blue, slowly moving to both sides. Xiangyang didn't cause trouble, so naturally he had never entered the Thunder Arena. The only time he came in contact with the Thunder Arena was when Xiaohua fought with Yan Xifeng, a disciple of Swallow Thunder Ridge. Today, it was his turn, but he didn't have the slightest fear in his heart. Looking at the brilliance that was like a door, he lifted his foot and stepped into the blue door. Xiangyang only felt his vision go black, and in an instant, there was a transmission pressure coming from all directions. However, in the blink of an eye, the pressure disappeared. When Xiangyang fixed his eyes, he was inside a light screen that was flashing with a light blue brilliance. The countless lightning bolts on the light screen were the restriction outside the light screen. Qianding, Xiangyang, after 10 breaths, there will be an illusion in the Thunder Arena. As for what illusion, I don't know. You can do whatever you want in this illusion, and all magic weapons will not be affected. Kuan-shen's voice was like the sound of nature. Of the two of you, one of you will die, one of you will admit defeat, and the other will accept. Other than that, no one can leave the Thunder Arena. Of course, your fight will be different from before. There will be no one else in the Thunder Arena. I will also leave the Thunder Arena, and all the disciples of the Imperial Thunder Sect will be able to see. The head of the sect and the palace masters of the other 6 lightning palaces will be the judges. You can fight without worry. As Kuan-shen's voice disappeared, 10 breaths later, Xiangyang only saw a bright light in front of him. It was an illusion of an undulating mountain range. At the end of the mountain peak, Qianding didn't hide his figure. He stood there like a towering mountain peak, looking at him proudly. Junior greets Martial Uncle Qian. Seeing that the restriction around him had disappeared, Xiangyang didn't immediately attack. Instead, he bowed and greeted. There's no need to do such superficial things. I won't fall for it. Qianding snorted coldly. His figure flashed, and his hands rubbed together. Bolts of lightning were produced. After the lightning disappeared into the void, circles of halos appeared a few hundred feet to the left of Xiangyang. These halos were like ropes that imprisoned the space around Xiangyang. Qianding pounced towards Xiangyang along with the lightning. Facing Xiangyang, who was only at the middle stage of the Golden Core stage, Qianding didn't even bother to use his magic weapon. He knew that he only needed to use magic to win. Whoosh! Several bolts of lightning surged out from Qianding's body. As Qianding formed hand seals, they were like venomous snakes that passed through the light barrier and approached Xiangyang's chest. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, vote for it, vote for it, give it as a reward, and... Chapter 51-23. Damn it. Just as Kuan-shen had said, Xiangyang and Qianding's every move on the Thunder Arena fell into the eyes of the Imperial Thunder Sect's disciples. Seeing Qianding's ruthless attack, Cui Hongshan couldn't help but curse. This Qianding is indeed the #1 person under the nascent soul stage. Not to mention eldest senior brother, even I wouldn't be his opponent. The hearts of the myriad Thunder Valley's disciples hung in suspense, but Qianding was as steady as Mount Tai on the Heavenly Thunder Palace's side. He understood that the spiritual armor he gave Xiangyang was a very powerful defensive treasure. As long as Xiangyang refined the spiritual armor and fought with his spiritual power, he would be in an undefeatable position. However, seeing that Qianding's attack had already landed in front of Xiangyang and that Xiangyang didn't even raise his hand, Qianding was a little stunned and thought, how can eldest senior brother be so careless? This isn't his style. Thinking of this, a sudden premonition suddenly arose in his heart. Oh no, could it be that he, boom. Just as Qianding had this thought, he saw Xiangyang being sent flying by Qianding's move. Xiangyang's not-so-tall corporeal body was like a fallen leaf being blown by the wind. Every time he rolled, there would be blood splattering out. Damn it! Qianding cursed in a low voice, his face ashen. He wasn't wearing spiritual armor at all. He didn't plan to fight back at all. Eldest senior brother. Seeing Xiangyang sent flying, Cui Hongshan cried out with heartache, "Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you dodge?" Qianding is the #1 person under the nascent soul stage, but he can't hit you with one move. Junior brother Cui. Yan Qinglian's indifferent and calm voice sounded in Cui Hongshan's ears. Don't worry, as the saying goes, asking for the benevolent will get the benevolent. Your eldest senior brother didn't plan to come down from the Thunder Arena alive. If his death can arouse Fairy Xianhua's pity, if it can arouse the sympathy of the other 5 great lightning palaces, his death can be considered valuable to our myriad Thunder Valley. Senior sister. Cui Hongshan was stunned, and so was Dui Qiming. They looked at each other, and their eyes were filled with sorrow and confusion. They felt that they already understood Xiangyang, and they felt that they already had deep feelings for the 10,000 Thunder Valley. However, they still didn't understand the persistence in Xiangyang's heart. They didn't understand the importance of the 10,000 Thunder Valley in Xiangyang's heart. Xiangyang could die, but the myriad Thunder Valley couldn't be lost. The myriad Thunder Valley was Xiangyang's home. Not to mention the grief in the myriad Thunder Valley, all the disciples of the Imperial Thunder sect were shocked. They all flew up and cried out in surprise, "Aw, damn it! Gonding! Stop it! Xiangyang, fight back!" Unfortunately, Qianding couldn't hear the commotion outside. He was just gauging the stature of a gentleman with the yardstick of a villain. Seeing that Xiangyang was easily sent flying by him, he was secretly delighted and hurriedly moved his body. While guarding against Xiangyang's tricks, he waved his hand and a fist condensed from mana shot into the sky like the hand of a Yuanying. It swept through the chaotic mana around Xiangyang and instantly struck towards Xiangyang's body. Seeing that Xiangyang was sent flying by the fist again and that the golden light around him was extremely dim, Qianding couldn't help but laugh loudly. "Ha ha ha, you're just a disciple in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. You dare to fight me? I'd like to see what kind of tricks you can play under my attack." While Qianding was laughing, his divine sense cautiously scanned the surrounding space, afraid that he would fall into Xiangyang's trap. However, when Xiangyang stubbornly stood in mid-air with blood in his mouth, Qianding suddenly came to a realization. He looked at Xiangyang in disbelief and cried out, You. However, when he saw the calmness in Xiangyang's eyes and the blood on Xiangyang's robe, he instantly understood Xiangyang's plan. A sinister smile appeared on his face again. You've got a good idea. Do you think I'll fall for your tricks? Don't try to act pitiful. I don't believe that you won't retaliate when I shatter your golden core." As he spoke, Qianding's body turned into a ray of light. He didn't need to use the Dharma treasure hidden in his robe. Instead, his fists rushed towards Xiangyang's abdomen like meteors. Boom boom boom. Qianding's fists landed on Xiangyang's body like raindrops. Waves of Dharma power condensed into thin strands of crystal light that pierced into Xiangyang's body. Kacha! Just as Xiangyang's body was rolling helplessly, a sigh was produced between heaven and earth. Along with this sigh, a small cracking sound entered Qianding's ears. Although the sound was soft, it was like thunder, causing Qianding to feel a little dizzy. "Damn it, you really don't want to live anymore." Qianding cursed softly and cried out, your golden core is already shattered. If you don't hurry and repair it, your lifespan will come to an end soon. I'm not even afraid of death. Why would I be afraid of my lifespan coming to an end? Xiang Yang's voice was hoarse. As he spoke, blood gushed out from his mouth. Qian Ding, today you and I will fight to the death. Qian Ding said angrily, you're forcing me. Think whatever you want. Xiang Yang looked up at the illusion on his left and laughed. I'm satisfied to die in such a beautiful scene. Humph. Qian Ding snorted coldly. Then go to hell. As he spoke, another row of fished shadows fell. Boom, boom, boom. Xiang Yang was sent flying again. However, it was obvious that Qian Ding's strength was much weaker this time. If Xiang Yang fought with him, Qian Ding could kill him mercilessly. However, Xiang Yang didn't even retaliate, which put him in a difficult position. He knew that everything in the illusion could be seen by the disciples outside. He couldn't kill Xiang Yang in front of all the disciples of the Imperial Thunder sect who didn't even fight back. Great-grandfather. Qian Dihing couldn't help but whisper, are you really going to kill Xiang Yang? TSK. Crazy Heaven snorted coldly. I'm crazy. Why would I go against a golden core cultivator? I just want Qian Ding to teach the myriad Thunder Valley a lesson. I must win this battle. But Qian Ding is a ruthless person. Qian Dihing complained. Great-grandfather, if you send him up, I'm afraid he'll cause trouble. Since he came to the Thunder Arena, he must be prepared to die. Crazy Heaven disagreed. If you want to protect the myriad Thunder Valley, how can you do it without paying a price? While they were talking, Xiang Yang was sent flying by Qian Ding several times. In the end, Qian Ding felt bored. He frowned and said, Xiang Yang, this is the Thunder Arena. Unless someone dies or admits defeat, the life and death view won't open. At this point, Qian Ding was stunned again. He shouted, I understand now. So that's what you're thinking. You want to force me to admit defeat? If that's the case, you're wrong. I'd rather beat you to death than admit defeat. Then, Qian Ding put two fingers together and pointed at Xiang Yang's heart. Under this point, Xiang Yang was bound to die. Qian Ding's move was not without probing and coercion. He wanted Xiang Yang to admit defeat, but he underestimated Xiang Yang's stubbornness. When Xiang Yang saw Qian Ding's fingers stabbing at him faster than a flying sword, a relaxed and relieved expression appeared on his face. Damn it. Qian Ding's hand had already touched Xiang Yang's heart. Just a slight push and he would have killed Xiang Yang. However, at this critical moment, Qian Ding couldn't bring himself to do it. He retracted his fingers and punched Xiang Yang's chest. Xiang Yang was sent flying again. Qian Ding could not remember how many times Xiang Yang had been sent flying. He said in a low voice, Xiang Yang, I'm tired. Just admit defeat. I'll send you out of the Thunder Arena. Xiang Yang only glanced at Qian Ding indifferently and did not answer. Outside the Thunder Arena, Thunder Talisman Spiritual Master could no longer watch. He flew to Fairy Xianhua and said, Sect Master, Xiang Yang is about to be killed by Qian Ding. Quickly pass down the order. Since you dare to come to the Thunder Arena, you can't be afraid of death. Every year, the number of Imperial Thunder Sect's disciples who die in the Thunder Arena is not small. Fairy Xianhua's face sank as she replied, Don't think I don't know. This is a trick of the Imperial Thunder Sect. They want to use Xiang Yang's death to exchange for victory in the next few battles. You. Thunder Talisman Spiritual Master stomped his feet and said with gritted teeth, Can't you be a little more humane? Think more for the pitiful children of the myriad Thunder Valley. Fairy Xianhua sneered, I think for them. Who will think for me? I just want to clean up the redundant palace branches. Why are they so disruptive? While the two were talking, Cui Hongshan and Zhuo Hongshan flew over again. When the guards led them to Fairy Xianhua, they knelt down and begged, "Sect Master, my myriad Thunder Valley has lost this battle. Please show mercy and issue the Sect Master's order to open the Thunder Arena and let Xiangyang out. If this continues, Xiangyang will be beaten to death." Fairy Xianhua opened her mouth, still wanting to berate the two of them. However, when she saw Xiangyang being sent flying like a rock, she smiled bitterly in her heart and replied, "You are also disciples of the Imperial Lightning Sect. Don't you know the rules of the Thunder Arena? If no one dies, no one admits defeat, the life and death arena will never be opened. Disciple understands, disciple understands." Zhuo Hongshan hurriedly replied, "But this Thunder Arena is just an array. Could it be that Sect Master can't open it?" Fairy Xianhua nodded and said, "This Thunder Arena is connected to the Imperial Thunder Sect protecting Grand Array. It borrows the power of the Thunder Pool. If you want to open the Thunder Arena, you have to remove the Sect protecting Grand Array. Do you think I have the means to do so, Sect Master?" Cui Hongshan's face was ashen, but he still didn't give up and shouted, "Sect Master can send a voice transmission to Qianding to stop. If I send a voice transmission to Qianding to stop, why don't you send a voice transmission to Xiangyang?" Fairy Xianhua replied, "Of course, the premise is that voice transmissions can be sent in the Thunder Arena. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, give it a recommendation vote, collect it, and give it a tip." Chapter 51-24. Unfortunately, if it was before, there would be a judge watching from the illusion. But now, because of the 7 lightnings shining sun. Fairy Xianhua continued to explain, "My Imperial Thunder Sect's disciples are all judges. Only Qianding and Xiangyang are on the Thunder Field. If Xiangyang didn't admit defeat, this battle would never have had the chance to stop. But if Xiangyang didn't admit defeat, then it would be a test of Qianding's patience. Sect Master." Zhuo **** said with a sobbing tone, "Is there no other way? This is the death trap Xiangyang set for himself." Fairy Xianhua replied faintly, "The only thing that can prevent him from dying is himself." But how could Zhuo **** not know what Xiangyang was thinking? If Xiangyang had decided on a direction, even if he hit a wall, he would never turn back. That year, Xiangyang stayed in the Myriad Thunder Valley. Now, on the Thunder Field, it was the same. Zhuo **** turned to look at the Thunder Field. At this time, Qianding had lost his patience again and started to attack. Xiangyang's golden core had been shattered, and his previous resistance had disappeared. There was not much difference between him and a defenseless mortal. If Qianding was a little ruthless, Xiangyang would die. Zhuo **** was already in despair. Cui Hongshan's heart was also cold. The tens of thousands of Imperial Thunder Sect's disciples were also somewhat sad. Among the tens of thousands of people, only Yan Qinglian's face was calm. She even had a tranquil smile on her face. She wanted to use a smile to send off her husband on his last journey. Whoa! At this critical moment, in the distant mountains, hundreds of dark clouds rapidly gathered in the sky. Boom boom boom. Bursts of thunderous sounds rang out from the dark clouds. Layers of lightning poured down from the sky like water, rushing into the depths of the Lamo Mountains. Without waiting for the lightning to fall, a strong hurricane was set off 1,000 feet high in the sky. The center of these hurricanes was a small virtual point. As these hurricanes grew stronger, the virtual point gradually revealed a shiny silver-white light spot. As soon as this light spot appeared, it immediately condensed and enlarged. In an instant, it had become the size of a grain of rice. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A deafening sound that sounded like the groans of gods and ghosts came from the void. At the same time, a stream of pressure gushed out from the depths of the hurricane, surging toward the group of disciples along the LoveLore mountain range. When the pressure reached the group of disciples, it was already very faint. In the eyes of Fairy Xianhua, Reverend Lei Meng and the others, it was still very weak. However, the lightning aura within the pressure was extremely peculiar. When it fell into their perception, it immediately caused them to be astonished. Pregnant. Fairy Xianhua's face lit up with joy. She couldn't be bothered to waste any more time with Shui Yifan. She hastily stood up and exclaimed, "Which disciple is pregnant?" Everyone was shocked and turned to look at the source of the pressure. As the lightning flashed, the crystal in the hurricane grew bigger and bigger. It didn't stop growing until it was the size of a thumb. Then, it grew until it was the size of half a fist. The extraordinary crystal was still surrounded by a huge whirlpool. The whirlpool produced a great suction force and drew the spiritual chi of heaven and earth into the crystal. Tens of thousands of rays of light fell on the silver-white crystal, refracting a gorgeous brilliance. It looked extremely beautiful. Whose disciple is this? Fairy Xianhua's eyes lit up as she whispered, "How can an ordinary pregnant baby be so big and condense so much spiritual chi of heaven and earth? If such a disciple succeeds in her pregnancy, how can an ordinary nascent soul cultivator be her opponent?" However, before Fairy Xianhua's surprise faded, at this critical moment, hundreds of dark clouds rapidly gathered in the distant mountain range. Boom, boom, boom. Bursts of thunderous sounds rang out from the dark clouds. Layers of lightning poured down from the sky like water, rushing into the depths of the LoveLore mountain range. This location was opposite the previous location, less than 100 li away. I-oh! All the disciples of the Imperial Thunder sect cried out in alarm. How come another disciple is pregnant? Moreover, the two pregnant babies are so close to each other. Won't the phenomena of the pregnant babies interfere with each other? Sure enough, as the pressure was generated, another crystal that was not inferior to the previous one also appeared, completely covering the area within 100 li. However, what was strange was that at the place where these crystals overlapped, there were strands of lightning that looked like strands of hair between the two crystals. When the lightning fell into the crystals, waves of flowing light intersected with each other. Not only did the crystals not collapse, but they grew even larger. Quickly look at those thunderclouds. Daoist crazed heaven swept his gaze over and pointed to the sky. What is going on? When the nascent soul elders heard this, they looked past the crystals and into the sky. At this moment, the thunderclouds that covered the sky did not scatter, nor did they interfere with each other. Instead, they rapidly twisted and formed two huge whirlpools. Although the two whirlpools rotated in opposite directions, their tails connected together as if they were one. Boom, boom. While everyone was dumbfounded, the first bolt of tribulation lightning that was born from the nascent soul after the upheaval struck down. This first bolt of tribulation lightning was followed by two bolts, falling down at the same time. When the previous thunderclouds appeared, they had already torn apart the sect's protective formation. Now, where the lightning tribulation passed, the formation's brilliance disappeared as if it was crushing dry weeds. At the place where the lightning tribulation landed, the space had already been sealed. The disciples of the Imperial Thunder sect could not detect it with their spiritual sense. However, everyone's heart was in suspense, fearing that after the lightning tribulation, the tribulation clouds would dissipate. Fortunately, it was only a moment. Boom, boom. Another two bolts of tribulation lightning fell at the same time. After the three bolts of tribulation lightning, the nascent soul pressure that was released previously began to converge. The crystal floating in the sky was drawn into the Lamo mountains along with the pressure. Woo-woo. A strange sound fell from the sky. After the previous tribulation clouds collapsed, they turned into fragments and fell into the depths of the Lamo mountains like a funnel. In just half the time it took to drink a cup of tea, the previous thousands of strange phenomena disappeared like a whirlwind. The setting sun scattered like blood. Everyone squinted their eyes and looked at the red clouds, waiting for the appearance of the new nascent soul master of the Imperial Thunder sect. Among the crowd, the corner of Thunder Meng Daoist's mouth curled into a cold smile. His eyes were filled with joy. Ha ha ha. A burst of wild laughter, even more arrogant than the previous coercion, appeared along with the setting sun. A slightly thin and tall figure stepped on the clouds in the blood-red glow. I'm also a nascent soul grandmaster. This daddy wants to see who dares to challenge this daddy in the future. Hee hee. After the maniacal laughter, a slightly shy voice rang out like a soft peep-a. After that, there was no more movement. However, right beside the tall and skinny figure, a pretty figure stood behind the tall and skinny figure's shadow and flew over like a shadow. In just a moment, the two new nascent soul masters had already turned into rainbows and landed not far from the crowd. The one in the lead was a man with a lazy smile on his face. Although his eyes were filled with craftiness, the aura of an early nascent soul cultivator rushed out uncontrollably like sword light. This man looked 70% like Xiang Yang and 30% like Yan Qinglian. Wasn't he Xiao Hua's adopted son, Xiang Zhili? Xiang Zhili's divine sense spread out. Seeing so many Imperial Thunder sect disciples looking at him, he didn't feel any uneasiness. Instead, he was surprised and said, What's going on? Do you all know that this daddy is pregnant today? Are you all actually waiting here to pay your respects to this daddy? The female cultivator behind Xiang Zhili was naturally Cui Yingying. Cui Yingying was more beautiful than Dui Qiming, and her eyes had the tenacity and heroic spirit of Cui Hongshan. However, she was currently hiding behind Xiang Zhili shyly, sneaking glances at the crowd. Senior Martial Brother, Grandmaster is there. My father is there too. Cui Yingying's sharp eyes had already seen Cui Hongshan and Zhua *****. I see them, I see them. Xiang Zhili was somewhat impatient, just like when he berated his junior martial sister who had snot dripped from her nose when they were young. Lei Meng Daoist is also there. That old fellow is probably the sect master of the Imperial Thunder sect now. No, who? Who's at the Thunder Arena? Previously, Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying's nascent soul lightning tribulation had affected the Imperial Thunder sect protection array. The Thunder Arena was also affected, and the illusion realm flashed, separating Qianding and Xiangyang. Now that the lightning tribulation had passed, the Imperial Thunder sect protection array was slowly mending, and the illusion realm of the Thunder Arena was once again revealed. At this time, Qianding had already lost his patience. His figure swayed, and he passed through the layers of illusions, pouncing towards Xiangyang. Damn it! Daddy! Seeing that his daddy was on the verge of death in the illusion realm, Xiang Zhili's eyes were about to crack. He shouted, "Who dares to touch my daddy, I'll exterminate his entire sect. Junior martial sister, hurry." Okay. Cui Yingying agreed without hesitation. The two of them transformed into two rainbows and rushed into the Thunder Arena. Stop. Fairy Xianhua frowned and said in a rather dignified manner. Fairy Xianhua didn't intend to stop Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying from saving Xiangyang. In her eyes, the illusion of the Thunder Arena couldn't be broken. Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying didn't come to greet her, the sect master, but instead did something useless. This made her really unhappy, so she casually shouted. Unfortunately, Xiang Zhili was already anxious. He only had his daddy in his eyes. He didn't even look at her and scolded, "Scram! Where did this old beggar come from? Whoever dares to stop me, I'll exterminate them. Damn it." Fairy Xianhua was furious. "Xiangjili, you dare to look down on me like this? What crime do you dare to commit?" Fairy Xianhua raised her hand, and was about to use the nascent soul hand. Unfortunately, before she could use her magic power, Zhuo Hongshan and Cui Hongshan had already flown up and blocked in front of her. Lei Meng Daoist also raised his hand, and his magic power was also produced. It seemed that as long as Fairy Xianhua made a move, he would definitely make a move. At this moment, under the full power of Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying, the two of them had already landed on the Thunder Arena. The two of them looked at each other, then raised their hands at the same time and grabbed towards the sky. Rumble. Hundreds of lightning bolts appeared out of thin air, transforming into a horned dragon and falling towards the lightning ball on the Thunder Arena. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, give it a recommendation vote, collect it, and give it a tip. Thank you for all forms of support. Chapter 51-25. Lightning Drawing Technique. Fairy Xianhua exclaimed, and the magic power she was channeling suddenly stopped. She looked at Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying in disbelief, and her heart was filled with complex feelings. The lightning drawing technique had always been the supreme technique of the Imperial Thunder sect. Unless one had the strength of a spirit-severing stage cultivator or above, they couldn't peek into its mysteries. Not to mention today's change in the world's spiritual energy, even if it was 10,000 years ago, there were only a few people in the Imperial Thunder sect who could use it. Several hundred years ago, Xiaohua of the Myriad Thunder Valley had used the lightning drawing technique to appear for a brief moment. Afterwards, two of the disciples of the Myriad Thunder Valley miraculously became pregnant and were able to casually draw down heavenly lightning. This was not only a ruthless slap to Fairy Xianhua's face, it also shattered her cold arrogance and self-confidence. She couldn't help but secretly ask, could it be? I was really wrong. Am I really not suitable to be the head of a sect? Just as Fairy Xianhua was reflecting, there was a change on the Thunder Plain. The Thunder Plain was previously affected by the lightning tribulation, and the array had already loosened. In addition, above the Thunder Mountain range, the tribulation clouds had just dissipated, and the tribulation lightning had not completely disappeared. The heavenly lightning that Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying had attracted contained 40% of the power of the tribulation lightning. How could the Thunder Plain withstand it? Not to mention, the lightning released by Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying faintly restrained the power of the Thunder Plain's array. Under this blow, the lightning ball of the Thunder Plain was actually torn apart. Whoosh! Xiang Zhili's figure flashed, and he had already entered the illusion array. Cui Yingying rubbed her hands, and lightning blocked the area around the Thunder Plain like the thorns of a hedgehog. Looking at Xiang Zhili's familiar movements, it was clear that the two relied on this familiarity to steal many spirit herbs from the Thunder's shocking palace. Xiang Zhili fell into the illusion, and his mouth and nose smelled the pungent smell of blood. His face, which had long since stopped smiling, turned ashen. Without any hesitation, he roared, "Damn old man! Hand over your life!" With that, Xiang Zhili waved his right hand, and lightning rushed out like a torrent, instantly enveloping the space where Qian Ding and Xiang Yang were. Under the lightning, not only did it break the illusion array, but it also imprisoned Qian Ding's attack. Nascent Soul Master. Qian Ding was stunned when he saw the strange phenomenon in the thunder field. Then, he was imprisoned by a bolt of lightning. He was even more confused. However, when he saw Xiang Yang's distorted appearance, he could not help but shout, "You are Xiang Zhili." That's right, it was me. Xiang Zhili growled. How dare you hurt my father? You must be tired of living. As Xiang Zhili roared, the lightning had already touched Qian Ding's body. How could Qian Ding, who was known as the strongest person below the nascent soul realm, be a match for Xiang Zhili, a new nascent soul grandmaster? Qian Ding's protective golden light crumbled. He was about to die at Xiang Zhili's hands. Xiang Yang's weak voice sounded. Don't kill him. It's not all his fault, boom. Xiang Zhili did not dare to disobey Xiang Yang's order. However, he did not let Qian Ding go. The lightning struck Qian Ding's abdomen. Tens of thousands of lightning threads entered his lower dantian. Kacha! The sound of his golden core shattering could be heard. Qian Ding screamed as he lost all his magic power and fell from the sky. Xiang Zhili did not even look at Qian Ding. He waved his hand and pulled the blood-stained Xiang Yang into his arms. Looking at Xiang Yang's pitiful state, Xiang Zhili's nose twitched as tears streamed down his face. Don't cry. Xiang Yang said weakly. I didn't embarrass you this time. It would have been better if Xiang Yang did not say that. Xiang Zhili flew into a rage and shouted, damn it. If I don't kill that bastard, I will, don't blame him. The good old Xiang Yang shook his head. Father chose this himself. Father, let's talk about this after we get out. Xiang Zhili's heart ached. In order to pass the tribulation, he did not bring any pills or other items with him. He carried Xiang Yang and flew into the sky. However, the Thunder Arena had already been sealed. With Xiang Zhili's ability, he would not be able to break the array from the inside. Humph. Xiang Zhili snorted and grabbed Qian Ding from the bottom of the formation. He then took out a bag of holding from Qian Ding's chest and gave it to his father to consume. Then, he grabbed Qian Ding and said fiercely, don't play dead. Wake up. I'll give you two choices. Do you want to die or admit defeat? Qian Ding slowly woke up. When he heard Xiang Zhili's words, he could not help but smile bitterly. In just a few breaths' time, he had switched places with Xiang Yang. Qian Ding wanted to learn from Xiang Yang and fight to the death, but he also knew that the fiendish Xiang Zhili would definitely kill him. He had heard of the three elites of the Myriad Thunder Valley. As a late Aurus Core stage cultivator who could step into the nascent soul stage at any time, Qian Ding naturally had his own decisiveness and forbearance. He would definitely not be as blindly loyal as Xiang Yang. After weighing the pros and cons, he immediately replied, I admit defeat. Following Qian Ding's words, two pillars of red and blue light appeared in the Thunder Arena. Xiang Zhili raised his hand and threw Qian Ding into the air. With a kick of his left leg, Qian Ding was like a human-shaped stone. He drew a beautiful arc in the air and fell into the blue light pillar. Then, Xiang Zhili took a deep breath and carefully hugged Xiang Yang. His figure flew into the red light pillar. Seeing the pressure of the teleportation, Xiang Zhili carefully protected Xiang Yang and stepped into the small door that appeared in the light pillar. Once out of the small door, Xiang Zhili saw Zhua ****, Yan Qinglian, Cui Hongshan, Cui Yingying, Fang Lihe and the embarrassed Kuan Shen. Xiang Zhili's gaze swept across the crowd and looked into the distance with some confusion. There, Thunder Meng Immortal only stood quietly and did not fly over. Mother. Xiang Zhili seemed to understand something. He handed Xiang Yang to Yan Qinglian and said, Father's Aurus Core has been shattered. You protect him first. Let's go back to the Myriad Thunder Valley first. Xiang Yang's Aurus Core was shattered, and his lifespan was naturally rapidly decreasing. He had only walked around the Thunder Arena once, and now he had become a stooped old man. His face was full of wrinkles, and even the wrinkles were covered with blood. The sorrow that Yan Qinglian had previously suppressed was now erupting tenfold, 100-fold. However, she still bit her lips and held back her tears. She reached out and hugged Xiang Yang. She could feel Xiang Yang's body trembling and his slightly cold body. She could not help but press her face against Xiang Yang's face. They were as intimate as lovers, but her heart was filled with bitterness. Disciple greets martial ancestor. Xiang Zhili bowed and asked impatiently, "What's going on?" Leer. Zhuo Hongshan helped Xiang Zhili to his feet. Cui Hongshan, who was standing beside him, had already told him about the competition of 100 palaces and the 7 thunders shining Sunday. Xiang Zhili said in surprise, "Martial uncle, isn't Reverend Lei Meng the sect leader of Thunder Control sect? How could an old man like him do such a senseless thing?" Cough cough. Kuinshan coughed and reminded, "The current head of my Imperial Thunder sect is Fairy Xianhua." Humph. Xiang Zhili snorted and said, "Who are you?" Although Kuinshan's face was somewhat awkward, he still bowed and said, "Disciple Kuinshan of the Heavenly Thunder Palace greets Senior." "And, get up." Xiang Zhili helped Kuinshan up and said, "You are the first Oris Core disciple to visit this old man. Logically speaking, this old man should give you a gift. However, as you can see, my myriad Thunder Valley is about to be cleared out. This old man can't even take out a gift. The next time you visit this old man will make it up to you together." Xiang Zhili was a nascent soul grandmaster, so it was not a big deal for him to address Kuinshan as an old man. However, he acted like an old man in front of Kuinshan, causing Kuinshan's face to turn red. For a moment, he did not know what to say. Martial Uncle Cui. Xiang Zhili looked at the crowd and turned to ask Cui Hongshan, "Who was that guy at the Thunder Plains? Which Thunder Palace was he from?" Cui Hongshan hurriedly replied, "That was Qian Ding of my Imperial Thunder Sect's Heavenly Thunder Palace. He is known as the #1 person under Nascent Soul." "I see." Xiang Zhili understood and a smile appeared on his face. He looked at Kuinshan and said, "So, the next match should be the Heavenly Thunder Palace." "Yes, Senior." Kuinshan hurriedly replied. "Oh, I forgot." Xiang Zhili slapped his forehead again, as if he had just remembered something. "Who won that round?" "The previous match was a draw." Kuinshan replied in a low voice, because both Qian Ding and Xiang Yang were injured. Although Qian Ding admitted defeat, he did not lose to Xiang Yang. "All right." Xiang Zhili did not bicker. He looked at the crowd and said with a smile, "If nothing unexpected happens, Liha will be sent to his death in the second match." Fong Liha hurriedly flew out and respectfully saluted, "Yes, Senior Brother." "Good." Xiang Zhili nodded and said, "You are very good. You dared to face the fury of that old beggar. You are a man of my myriad Thunder Valley. I will take care of you in the future." Kuinshan hurriedly lowered his head as if he hadn't heard the words old beggar. He knew that Xiang Zhili had just called Fairy Xianhua an old beggar in front of thousands of disciples of the Imperial Lightning Sect, and he would surely become a laughingstock in the future. However, Xiang Zhili continued to say to Fong Liha, "You don't have to fight the second match. I will face the Earth Thunder Palace. Martial Ancestor does not have to fight the third match. Junior Sister will face the Earth Thunder Palace." "No, no." Kuinshan was shocked and hurriedly raised his head and waved his hand. "Seniors, you two cannot enter the Thunder Plains." "Oh." Xiang Zhili sneered and asked, "Why can't I enter? The view of life and death has just been opened. My myriad Thunder Valley's disciples have not signed a life and death contract. Can't we change to another person?" Kuinshan did not know whether to laugh or cry and replied, "Of course, we can change to another person. However, only disciples below the nascent soul realm are allowed to enter the Thunder Plains. Senior is already a nascent soul grandmaster. Naturally, you can't. Martial Uncle Chui, is that so? Xiang Zhili turned to ask Chui Hongshan. Chui Hongshan nodded and said, when my Imperial Thunder sect was founded, how could there be many nascent soul grandmasters? The founder of the sect mentioned that only those below the nascent soul stage can enter. If you want to enter, you may need the sect master's permission. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please go to Qidian to subscribe to support, vote for a monthly vote for recommendation, collect, reward, and thank all forms of support. Chapter 51-26. Isn't that easy? Xiang Zhili glanced at the crowd and gave Cui Yingying a look. Cui Yingying nodded slightly and then said to Xiang Zhili, Grandmaster, please move a little further away. Oh. Zhuo Hongwu and the others were puzzled and hurriedly flew 1,000 feet away. A little further. Xiang Zhili looked and said. After Zhuo Hongwu flew 1,000 feet away in confusion, Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying raised their hands and slapped their own heads. Boom, boom. With two deafening sounds, lightning shot up into the sky and the nascent soul aura was released without restraint. However, the aura only rushed out a few thousand feet. As Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying formed hand seals, countless lightning bolts appeared from the void. The lightning bolts formed a net and covered the previous lightning bolts. Then, all the lightning bolts roared and were absorbed into their bodies like trapped beasts. As the lightning bolts entered their bodies, their realms fell little by little. When the lightning bolts disappeared, two cultivators at the peak of the late-stage Golden Core realm stood strangely in front of thousands of Yulei's sect disciples. Xiang Zhili smiled coldly and used his dermic powers. He said loudly, did you see that? I'm now a late-stage Golden Core realm cultivator. Today, I'm going to enter the Thunder Arena and fight the disciples of the Earth Thunder Palace. I'll say that there are two ways for others to enter the Thunder Arena. One is to admit defeat and the other is to die. Who dares to enter the Thunder Arena in front of me? There's only one way. If you're not afraid of death, come. That's right. Although Cui Yingying was already a nascent soul realm master, her tone was still timid. She also said in a low voice, I'm going to fight the Earth Thunder Palace. There's only one way. If you're not afraid of death, come, there's more. After hearing Cui Yingying's words, Xiang Zhili thought of something and shouted, as long as I don't die in the Thunder Arena, the fourth battle against the Thunder Palace is also mine. Yes. Cui Yingying hurriedly agreed. The fifth battle against the Thunder Palace is also mine. Damn it, I see. Seeing Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying use a mysterious technique to hide their cultivation, the Foundation Establishment and Golden Core Realm disciples of the Thunder Palace who were bullied by Xiang Zhili suddenly understood. This guy has been suppressing his realm since a long time. No wonder we're always bullied by him. Damn it, can the three heroes of the Thunder Valley? Can they be any more despicable? The disciples who were tortured by the three heroes of the valley wailed. What kind of scandal is this? Fairy Xianhua flew into a rage and shouted, You can still pretend to be a Jindan stage cultivator and enter the Thunder Arena. They just got pregnant in front of all the Imperial Thunder Sect disciples. How can they still pretend to be Golden Core disciples? Do they think we're all blind? Didn't Master said that a goods test that he masters the sect said, as this it that. You can send the strongest cultivator under the nascent soul realm to fight the Golden Core realm cultivator in the Thunder Valley, but you didn't violate the sect's rules. Xiang Zhili also didn't violate the sect's rules. Xiang Zhili is now a late Golden Core realm cultivator. Believe it or not, I believe it. My Thunder Palace also believes it. If you don't believe me, you can have your nascent soul realm disciples check Xiangjili's realm. You. Fairy Xianhua growled. Can you not be as despicable as the three heroes of the Thunder Valley? Can you not lie through your teeth? I can't. Lei Meng Daoist shrugged his shoulders and said, Xiangjili was originally this old man's disciple. How could this old man be different from him? Honorable Sect Master. Suddenly, a Jindan cultivator flew over from afar, knelt down in the air and shouted, This disciple is extremely fortunate to have not entered the Thunder Arena yet. Sect Master, please tell me what this disciple should do. Needless to say, this late Golden Core Realm cultivator must be an expert of the Thunder Palace. He had seen a nascent Soul Realm cultivator wearing a Golden Core Realm cultivator's Daoist robe prepare to kill him. How could he dare to enter the Thunder Arena? Fairy Xianhua waved her hand impatiently. You decide for yourself. That cultivator hesitated. However, when he saw the ashen face of Fairy Xianhua and the sneer on Master Lei Meng's face, he already had a plan. He agreed and rushed into the sky. When he was not far from Kuan Shin, he said loudly, Disciple of the Thunder Palace Kuan Shik admits that he is not Senior Xiang's opponent. There is no need to enter the Thunder Arena. Disciple admits defeat. Boom. Around the Thunder Arena, all the Thunder Palace disciples roared with laughter. They had already expected this result. However, when they saw Kuan Shi admit defeat, they couldn't help but laugh. This was because they recognized that Kuan Shi was also one of the famous experts of the Thunder Palace. When Fairy Xianhua heard this, her ashen face turned a bit more purple. Since Kuan Shi had taken the lead, the other Thunder Palace disciples also followed suit. A late gold core old man flew out and cupped his hands towards Xiangjili and the others. He said loudly, Disciple of the Thunder Palace Kan Yang admits that he is not the opponent of the myriad Thunder Valley's disciples. Disciple admits defeat. Disciple of the Thunder Palace Li Jing admits that she is not the opponent of the myriad Thunder Valley's disciples. Disciple admits defeat. An early gold core female cultivator flew out and said respectfully. Disciple of the Thunder Palace Zhen Hu admits that he is not the opponent of the myriad Thunder Valley's disciples. Disciple admits defeat. A middle gold core old man also flew out and said respectfully. After the late gold core cultivator from the Thunder Palace admitted defeat, an early gold core female cultivator from the Thunder Palace flew out and said, Disciple of the Thunder Palace Dui Ching admits that he is not the opponent of the myriad Thunder Valley's disciples. Disciple admits defeat. Phew. Finally, the sound of Dui Ching admitting defeat resounded. Cui Hongshan finally let out a long sigh. The disciples sent by the various Thunder Palaces weren't any different from what he had expected. If Xiangjili and Cui Yingying hadn't appeared, the myriad Thunder Valley would have most likely lost. Boom! The myriad Thunder Valley disciples cheered in unison. They couldn't hold back anymore and flew towards the Thunder Arena while shouting wildly. They surrounded Zhuo Hongshan and the others and couldn't stop their tears from flowing down their cheeks. Kuan Shen was very tactful. Before the myriad Thunder Valley disciples rushed over, he had already cupped his hands towards Xiangjili and Cui Yingying and flew away. Disciples. Fairy Xianhua's voice sounded. She didn't have any tone and only said flatly, The myriad Thunder Valley's disciples have passed the Seven Thunders Bright Sun test. The myriad Thunder Valley's name will remain for 100 years. After 100 years, if it is cleared, the myriad Thunder Valley can still be included in the list. If there is no one to accept the challenge, the Palace Master Battle of the Heavenly Thunder Palace will begin in 2 hours. What? The Palace Master Battle of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. When Xiangjili and Cui Yingying heard this, they couldn't help but be stunned. They raised their hands to signal the myriad Thunder Valley disciples to whisper and ask Cui Hongshan. Cui Hongshan looked around and said with a smile, "We will leave the Thunder Arena first. Then this old man will tell you in detail. You have been in seclusion for nearly 100 years. A lot of things have happened in the Imperial Thunder sect." Immediately, the victorious myriad Thunder Valley disciples flew back to where they were. "Father." Just as everyone flew up, Xiang Zhili hurriedly whispered to Xiang Yang, "The myriad Thunder Valley has been saved. Don't worry, the boy is already pregnant. If anyone dares to touch the myriad Thunder Valley in the future, the boy will definitely chop off their hands. You are now seriously injured, so you should return to the myriad Thunder Valley to rest first." Xiang Yang took a pill and his physical injuries had already begun to heal. However, the golden core in his body was already shattered beyond recognition. He knew in his heart that without a miracle, he definitely wouldn't be able to live for more than a year. Thus, he forced a smile and said, "No need, Li. Father likes crowds and wants to be with you all." Okay. How could Xiang Zhili not know Xiang Yang's predicament? He also forced a smile and rubbed his hands together. A huge chair condensed from lightning appeared in front of him and said, "Father, please sit. The boy will accompany father." Okay. Xiang Yang agreed. Yan Qinglian carefully helped Xiang Yang to the chair. Just as Xiang Yang sat down, he suddenly thought of something and took out a storage pouch from his waist with difficulty. He handed it to Xiang Zhili and said, "Li, there is a spiritual armor in here. It was given to spiritual master Guangtian by Qian Diheng. It must be something good. Father can't use it, so I'll give it to you." "Father." Looking at the bloodstained storage pouch and hearing Xiang Yang's words, Xiang Zhili couldn't hold back any longer. With a swish sound, the tears in his eyes fell again. Roar. Xiang Zhili roared angrily as he charged into the sky and raised his arms. Boom boom boom. Countless bolts of lightning surged out from his body and shot into the sky. Then, countless thunderclouds flew out from the left and covered half of the Lamo mountain range. Ah! What's going on now? Everyone was discussing what happened at the Thunder Plains. Suddenly, they saw Xiang Zhili flip out and were shocked. Roar roar roar. Seeing the thunderclouds covered and tens of millions of lightning bolts roaring in the sky, a shadow appeared on the surface of Xiang Zhili's body. No nascent soul flew out, but the shadow of lightning around Xiang Zhili's body turned into a dragon and swam rapidly around Xiang Zhili. Xiang Zhili's body grew bigger and bigger until it was more than 1,000 feet tall. Although Xiang Zhili's lightning Dharma image was not as imposing as Fairy Xianhua's, it was still a real Dharma body. The moment it appeared, even Thunder Meng Daoist was shocked. Then, Xiang Zhili raised his hand slightly, and the lightning chair under Xiang Yang slowly flew up. Xiang Yang sat on it, puzzled. Under the gaze of tens of thousands of people, he was at a loss of what to do. "Father." When Xiang Yang flew to a high place, Xiang Zhili knelt down in front of Xiang Yang and kowtowed. "Boy is unfilial. I let you be bullied by others." Boom boom boom. Then, as if thunder was rumbling, heaven and earth trembled. Xiang Zhili fiercely kowtowed in midair, countless lightning waves rushed out in all directions. Like a gale, but also stronger than a gale, the disciples below Foundation establishment were unable to stand still in midair. "I, Xiang Zhili, hereby swear." After kowtowing, Xiang Zhili straightened up and shouted to the sky, "From today onwards, if anyone dares to touch a hair on my father's head, if anyone dares to touch the foundation of my myriad Thunder Valley, Xiang Zhili will not rest until I die." P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, vote for it, vote for it, give it as a reward, and thank you to Guff85479885, Falling Flower Intent, Flowing Water, Cabbage, and other fellow Taoists for their support. Chapter 51:27. Boom boom boom. 9 consecutive thunderbolts fell like dragons. When Xiangjili spat out a mouthful of blood essence, an obscure and strange fluctuation appeared out of nowhere, wrapping around the 9 thunderbolts and blood essence, turning them into a blood mark that sank into Xiangjili's forehead. Damn it! Fairy Xianhua cursed in a low voice. She ignored the first half of Xiangjili's words and only heard the last part, thinking that Xiangjili was challenging her authority as sect master. He's just a baby and he's already so arrogant. What will happen in the future? However, even though she said this, Fairy Xianhua still frowned as she looked at the lightning in the sky, extremely puzzled. This Xiangjili has just become a baby. Logically speaking, his strength shouldn't be so strong. Could it be that the thunder core of their childhood is really so effective? Alas! Seeing his son's power, Xiang Yang's heart was filled with joy, and a faint blush appeared on his pale face. However, he still sighed and said, "Why are you doing this for no reason? As long as father knows your intentions." Xiangjili slowly withdrew his Dharma body and said with a choked voice, "Yes, boy understands." "Don't worry, didn't you say it before? Your boy is a spirit-severing stage cultivator. Don't worry, this boy will definitely let you see that day." Father knows, father knows. Xiangjili smiled from ear to ear and nodded. Xiangjili flew down with Xiangyang, and Cui Hongshan and the others came to greet them. Xiangjili and Cui Yingying greeted the teachers, and the other disciples also greeted them. After the trivial matters were settled, Cui Hongshan told them about the important matters of the Imperial Thunder sect in the past 100 years. Finally, he said, Sect Master Qian Lazy suddenly died, and the Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace hasn't been decided for many years. This time, the nascent soul seniors of the Heavenly Thunder Palace finally finished their discussion and invited Sect Master Xianhua to fight to choose the Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace, so it's like this. Xiangjili looked at Cui Yingying and frowned. That's a pity. What's a pity? Cui Hongshan was somewhat puzzled. Just as he was about to speak, Xiangjili rubbed his chin and said in a low voice, Sect Master Qian Lazy's death can't be considered a surprise, but his death was a bit too fast. If nothing unexpected happened, then what he said should be correct. However, it's been nearly 100 years since he died, and we still haven't found anything. After Cui Yingying kowtowed to Cui Hongshan and Dui Qiming, she kept her mouth shut. When she heard Xiangjili's whisper, she hurriedly nodded and said, Yes, yes. Eldest senior martial brother, I didn't find anything strange. Cui Hongshan was even more confused when he heard this. Forget it. Xiangjili waved his hand and said, Who cares? We'll deal with whatever comes our way. Now that the Imperial Thunder sect has become a piece of junk, who still cares about it? Zhua **** and the others might not have heard it clearly, but Cui Hongshan understood. He thought for a moment, then whispered, what's going on? Well, it's nothing. Xiangjili also sent a voice transmission, Martial Uncle, do you still remember the last time the boy and the others returned to Myriad Thunder Valley? I know. Cui Hongshan looked at Cui Yingying affectionately and said with a smile, Of course, when the 3 of you came back in a hurry, I wasn't in Myriad Thunder Valley. When I received the message, I hurried back from shuttling Thunder Hall, but you had already left Myriad Thunder Valley for seclusion in the depths of Thunder Emo Mountain Range. As a result, I haven't seen Yingying for more than 100 years. Haha, Martial Uncle, there's nothing we can do about it. Xiang Zhili continued to send a voice transmission. The boy and the others were originally training in a secret place, but Wu Qing suddenly received a secret message from Sect Master Qian Lazy, asking us to return to the Imperial Thunder Sect immediately without delay. Oh. There's such a thing. Cui Hongshan was shocked and whispered, "Why haven't I heard your father mention it? We have Senior Qian Lazy's secret order, so we can't tell anyone." After Xiang Zhili finished speaking, he seemed to realize something and hurriedly closed his eyes to calculate. Then he let out a sigh of relief and said with a smile, "Fortunately, the boy and the others swore not to tell anyone for 80 years, so they didn't break their promise." 80 years. Cui Hongshan was stunned and asked curiously, "Why 80 years?" Xiang Zhili replied, "Because Senior Qian Lazy felt that he could only enter the spirit-severing thunder tribulation after 80 years. Without waiting for Cui Hongshan to ask again, Xiang Zhili continued, "We received the sect master's secret order and hurriedly returned to the Imperial Thunder sect. After arriving at Thunder Imo mountain range, we went straight to Great Thunder Hole. Contrary to disciples' expectations, Sect Master Qian Lazy is not in the Great Thunder Palace. Instead, he is cultivating in the Thunder Pool. We naturally did not have the qualifications to go near the Thunder Pool, so we could only enter the heavily guarded Thunder Pool after showing the Sect Master's secret order." At this point, Xiang Zhili naturally looked towards the depths of Thunder Imo mountain range, as if he was recalling what had happened that day. After a while, he said, "At that time, Senior Qian Lazy was sitting cross-legged above the Thunder Pool, surrounded by lightning like a spring, like the god of thunder." This disciple was stunned, but what Qian Lazy said next made this disciple feel even more incredulous. Senior Qian Lazy first asked Wu Qing about foster father. Wu Qing was very confused, so he told him some of what he knew. Ying and I also added a little. After all, after we were born, foster father did not stay in the 10,000 Thunder Valley, so we know very little. You should have asked us about this. Cui Hongshan heard this and knew that something was wrong, so he whispered to Xiang Zhili. Yes, after Senior Qian Lazy asked, Wu Qing tried to sound him out. He wanted Sect Master Qian Lazy to ask Martial Uncle and the others. Xiang Zhili nodded and replied, but Senior Qian Lazy shook his head and said that it was too late to ask now. He was just doing something unnecessary because he was not willing to give up. Too late. Cui Hongshan was shocked and asked hurriedly, did he already sense that there was something wrong with the Thunder Pool? Xiang Zhili glanced at Cui Hongshan and said with a smile, Martial Uncle is indeed the deputy head of the Thunder Hole. This disciple didn't think about it that day. Only when Senior Qian Lazy mentioned it, did this disciple understand. Alas. Cui Hongshan waved his hand and said, you don't know. Master Qian Lazy wanted to use this thunder-devouring bead to replace the thunder-devouring bead. He once asked your adoptive father about it. And it is said that he didn't dare to use it at first. Later, when he found out that your adoptive father's background was clean and Qian Qinghua came back, he used it. This matter was originally a secret of our Imperial Thunder sect. No one knew about it before. It was only after your adoptive father was expelled from the sect and Master Qian Lazy investigated again that we found out something strange. When Thunder Meng Reverend came back and your Grandmaster went missing, he told us a little bit. Yes, that's true. Xiang Zhili nodded. Senior Qian Lazy asked us to come back because of this thunder-devouring bead. Is there really something wrong with the thunder-devouring bead? Cui Hongshan turned pale with fright and said in a low voice, the thunder-devouring bead is the foundation of our thunder-controlling sect's defensive formation, whether there's something wrong with the thunder-devouring bead. Xiang Zhili answered, Senior Qian Lazy doesn't know. Even Senior Lei Yunzi, Senior Qian Lazy, and Senior Zhen Yuan don't know. However, since Senior Qian Lazy has died, there must be something wrong with the thunder-devouring bead. What? Cui Hongshan's eyes almost fell out of their sockets. He almost cried out, "What did you say? Are the three ancestors still alive? What realm are they at?" Hee, of course they're still alive. Otherwise, who would guide me, Wuqing and Yingying in cultivation? Xiang Zhili smiled and said, "Martial uncle, do you think it's easy for us to reach the nascent soul realm? It's a blessing for you, and also a blessing for our thunder-controlling sect." Cui Hongshan said with a long sigh. Xiang Zhili then said, "Martial uncle, don't be too optimistic. Now that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth has changed, the three ancestors' lifespans have already been exhausted. Now, they don't dare to use their divine abilities casually. Even if they don't use their magic power, I'm afraid they won't be able to last 10 years. The thunder-controlling sect will depend on you from now on." Cui Hongshan nodded sadly. Xiang Zhili looked into the distance and said angrily, "With such an old beggar as the sect master, I can't be bothered to work for the thunder-controlling sect." "But uncle, Senior Qian Lazy already said that he would pass the position of sect master to Lei Meng Daoist. How could there be such a change?" Previously, Cui Hongshan had only briefly explained the changes in the thunder-controlling sect and Fairy Xianhua becoming the sect master. Now, Cui Hongshan thought for a moment and explained in detail the fight between Fairy Xianhua and Lei Meng Daoist for the position of sect master. Hearing this, Xiang Zhili smiled and said, "Disciple really didn't expect that old man to have the awareness of being a disciple of the thunder-controlling sect. He actually didn't fight with Fairy Xianhua. Otherwise, the position of sect master would have been his." "What old man?" Cui Hongshan scolded, "Lei Meng Daoist is your master. How could the sect master treat him so rudely?" "My master is my foster father," Xiang Zhili said indifferently. "When Lei Meng Daoist gave me pointers that day, I already told him. He didn't say anything and only said that he was entrusted by sect master Qian Lazy to give pointers. He didn't care about any status. In fact, I often call him old man in front of him." "You kids." Cui Hongshan shook his head, "Lei Meng Daoist is sincerely good to you." Hee, how come these disciples don't know?" Xiang Zhili smiled and said, "Otherwise, I wouldn't have said good things about Lei Meng Daoist in front of sect master Qian Lazy." "Forget it, continue." Cui Hongshan was too lazy to ask more and continued to ask about the thunder-devouring bead. Xiang Zhili shrugged and said, "It's nothing. It's just that although Senior Qian Lazy didn't find anything strange about the thunder-devouring bead, he always felt that there was something different in the thunder-devouring bead. Before he stepped into the late Yuanying stage, he didn't know about it. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, give it as a reward, and thank you to Guff85479885, Falling Flower Intent, Flowing Water Sentiment, Cabbage, and other fellow Taoists for their support. Chapter 51-28. Xiang Zhili continued, "When Senior Qian Lazy comprehended the thunder-devouring bead and stepped into the late stage, his nascent soul spirit body had a better connection with the lightning of heaven and earth, giving birth to a kind of innate feeling. But since even Master Lei Ting and the others couldn't distinguish it, how could Senior Qian Lazy distinguish it? He only felt that if it wasn't for the fact that the lightning energy in this thunder-devouring bead was different from the lightning energy in the thunder-devouring bead, then there was another possibility. This thunder-devouring bead was tampered with by a cultivator more powerful than a severed divinity cultivator. Naturally, void refinement and body integration stage cultivators were more powerful than severed divinity cultivators. How many of them were there in the entire Dawn Rain continent? Therefore, Senior Qian Lazy could only put this matter in his heart and make plans to deal with it. Senior Qian Lazy searched the entire Imperial Thunder sect but couldn't find a suitable disciple. Only then did he think of me, Yingying, and Wuqing. After Senior Qian Lazy told us the whole story, he gave us the jade slip about the lightning technique and the fragments of the thunder-concealing bead. Then, he asked us to go to the depths of the Thunder Mo mountain range to find the 3 ancestors who were in seclusion. He also gave us the task of guarding the 3 formation eyes and observing the lightning formation. Xiang Zhili continued, therefore, after I returned to the Myriad Thunder Valley, I hurriedly went to find the 3 seniors. Then, under their guidance, I went into seclusion to cultivate in the 3 formation eyes. After Xiang Zhili finished speaking, Cui Hongshan hurriedly asked, has the formation changed in the past 100 years? Of course not. Xiang Zhili said with a smile, if it has, how can Martial Uncle stand here safely and watch the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace fight? That's true. Cui Hongshan smiled and looked at the Thunder Arena. At this time, the lightning curtain above the arena had been torn apart. Fairy Xianhua, the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace, Fei Xuanzi, the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace, Fairy Yao Feng, the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace, the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace, Xing Yunzi, the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace, Lei Tingzi, and the Palace Lord of the Thunder Conversion Palace were all standing in the sky. Below the 7 of them, Kuang Tian, Qian Qingzi, Qian Fengju, and the Palace Lord of the Thunder Palace, were standing in the sky. Disciples of the Cosmos Thunder Palace. Fairy Xianhua coughed lightly and said, ever since the previous head of the Cosmos Thunder Palace, Master Cosmos Thunder Palace has been without a Palace Lord for a long time. Ever since this seat took over the Imperial Thunder Sect, this seat has already begun to consider the person who will be in charge of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. However, the Heavenly Thunder Palace was previously under the control of the Sect Master, and there are many secrets of my Imperial Thunder Sect within it. Therefore, this seat spent several decades straightening out the affairs of the sect before the seat began to consider the candidate for the Palace Master. The Heavenly Thunder Palace is the head of the 8 great Thunder Palaces, and 7 out of the 10 generations of Sect Masters have originated from the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Therefore, this seat has no choice but to treat it with caution. At this point, Fairy Xianhua's gaze swept over Spiritual Master Kuangtian and the others, and she said with a smile, now that the wings of the Heavenly Thunder Palace's disciples have been fully developed, this seat is pleased to see a mid-nascent soul stage and 3-peak early nascent soul stage disciples step forward and bravely shoulder the heavy burden of the Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Master. This seat hereby announces that the battle for the Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Master has officially begun. Boom boom boom. As lightning flashed around their bodies, the figures of Spiritual Master Kuangtian and the other 3 nascent soul stage cultivators flashed, and they each flew to the 4 corners of the Thunder Arena. Spiritual Master Kuangtian was the first to speak. Junior Kuangtian earnestly requests Sect Master to allow this junior to participate in the battle for the Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Master. Permission granted. Fairy Xianhua replied. After the other 3-peak early nascent soul stage disciples finished their requests and Fairy Xianhua followed suit, she spoke again, you are all the backbone of the Heavenly Thunder Palace, and also the elites of my Imperial Thunder Sect. Therefore, today's battle for the Palace Master will not be about life or death, but only about victory or defeat. Anyone who is beaten out of the Thunder Arena will be disqualified, and the last person standing on the Thunder Arena will be the Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Master. Reporting to Sect Master. Spiritual Master Swift Wind spoke, this junior has something to say. Speak. Fairy Xianhua slightly frowned and said unhappily. Alright, Sect Master knows. Spiritual Master Swift Wind said with a smile, this Thunder Arena is so big, the possibility of being beaten out of the Thunder Arena is very small. This junior doesn't think that being beaten out of the Thunder Arena and losing the qualification to compete is a good idea. Fairy Xianhua smiled and said, Swift Wind, the Thunder Arena is not small, but it is also not big. In a battle between nascent soul stage cultivators, 100 li is nothing. Besides, being beaten out of the Thunder Arena is just a saying. Try teleporting, you might have already gone beyond the Thunder Arena. Ha! Spiritual Master Quangtian laughed loudly and said, Swift Wind, do you think this is the Thunder Arena where Golden Core stage cultivators fight? Spiritual Master Swift Wind's face was somewhat embarrassed. He coldly looked at the arrogant Spiritual Master Quangtian and said no more. Sect Master. Spiritual Master Quangtian laughed and said, This junior also has a question. Speak. Fairy Xianhua said. Only the 4 of us will compete for the position of Palace Master, right? Spiritual Master Quangtian said, Disciple doesn't want to wait until the end for another disciple to jump onto the Thunder Arena and say that he wants to challenge me. Humph. Spiritual Master Quangtian's words made Qian Qingzi, Qian Fengju, and Spiritual Master Swift Wind snort coldly. Fairy Xianhua smiled and said, Don't worry. If he wants to compete for the position of Palace Master, he must first get my permission. Only when I confirm that he has the qualification to compete and give my permission can he step onto the Thunder Arena. Moreover, I've already said that this battle is for the position of Palace Master. Whoever can stay on the Thunder Arena in the end will be the Palace Master. At this point, Fairy Xianhua looked at the disciples who were waiting in the distance and said, Moreover, besides the 4 of you, who else has the ability to compete for the position of Palace Master? Spiritual Master Quangtian grinned and said, That's true. Fairy Xianhua looked at Spiritual Master Lei Meng and the others and said with a smile, My thunder-controlling sect's Palace Master will finally have a Palace Master. 8 lightning pillars. Just as Fairy Xianhua was speaking, a gust of wind suddenly blew, and the starry night sky suddenly darkened. The moon that had just poked its head out also suddenly disappeared. Layers of dark clouds covered the sky, and an indescribable oppressive feeling covered half of the Mo mountain range. Ha! Seeing this, Xiang Zhili clapped and laughed, as the saying goes, it's better to be early than early. He actually chose a good time to come out of seclusion. Although Xiang Zhili didn't say who he was, looking at Cui Yingying's sparkling eyes that were even brighter than the stars, everyone knew that Wu Qing had come out of seclusion. Previously, seeing Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying pregnant at the same time, Zhuo Hongshan's heart felt like it was being scratched by a cat. She wanted to ask about Wu Qing, but at that time, the situation in Myriad Thunder Valley was still uncertain and Xiang Yang was seriously injured, so she couldn't speak. Later, Cui Hongshan pulled Xiang Zhili and transmitted a message. Zhuo Hongshan knew that the two were discussing something and didn't dare to ask. Now, hearing Xiang Zhili clapping his hands, she couldn't help but smile and her eyes became moist. She whispered, Wu Qing, and looked toward the depths of the Thunder Mo mountain range. Before Fairy Xianhua could finish her words, she saw the gust of wind and the oppressive feeling. Startled, she looked around and whispered, Junior brothers, this is... I'm not sure. Although Thunder Tablet Reverend felt something in his heart, he still shook his head as he looked at Xiang Zhili, who was far away and could not see clearly. I can't sense any more information. Fairy Xianhua nodded and said to Spiritual Master Quangtian and the others, My thunder-controlling sect seems to have some good news, please wait a moment. The sudden change also affected the Thunder Plane, so Spiritual Master Quangtian and the others naturally couldn't fight. They helplessly bowed and said, Junior obeys, without waiting for Spiritual Master Quangtian and the others to finish their words, Salala. Tens of thousands of lightning bolts suddenly appeared in the dark clouds that covered the sky. The lightning bolts weren't very powerful, as if golden threads were weaving the dark clouds. However, when the golden threads covered the sky, Kacha Countless lightning arcs as thick as a thumb penetrated the dark clouds and roared together. Wang wang wang. As the lightning arcs appeared, the entire sky shook. The dark clouds revealed a crimson red, like boiling magma. The entire sky had been brewing for the time it took to brew a cup of tea, and a total of 81 translucent vortexes appeared in 81 locations. The same 81 layers of thunderbolts descended from the sky and landed in the middle of Mount Lema, firmly confining one location. Boom, boom, boom. It seemed to be at the same time, but in fact, it was disorderly. 81 dragon-like lightning bolts rushed out from the vortexes and directly crashed into the restriction. Then, a vast pressure gushed out like a fountain, enveloping an area of several hundred miles. This pressure was somewhat similar to when Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying were pregnant, but the difference was that there were no crystals formed by the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Seeing this, Zhui Ying's heart unconsciously shrank, and she was a little scared. She had no experience in pregnancy, and seeing this, she thought that Wu Qing couldn't become a nascent soul. Grand Master. Cui Yingying's face was full of shyness. She flew to Zhui Ying's side, held her arm, and whispered, "Don't worry, just wait and see, okay?" Zhui Ying reached out and held Cui Yingying's hand, and said with a smile, "Grandmaster knows." Although she said that, the smile on Zhui Ying's face was obviously very stiff. Just as Zhui Ying expected, just as the pressure spread to the vicinity of the thunder arena, it suddenly retracted again. It was much smaller than Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying's momentum. However, as the pressure faded, countless thunderclouds in the sky shattered, and the lightning collapsed, turning into lightning fragments that scattered across the sky. Roar! Where the lightning fragments fell, the restriction formed by the pressure of the lightning also collapsed. A soft roar rushed into the sky, and a young man covered in lightning flew out from the depths of the night. There was no smile on his incomparably handsome face, and it was as cold as ice. Wow! In the Thunder Conversion Palace, countless young female cultivators cried out in surprise. Wasn't this appearance, this handsome and divine like jade, just like what they saw in their dreams? Thank goodness, thank goodness. Seeing her son fly out in one piece, Zhui Ying's heart was relieved. As for whether Wu Qing was pregnant or not, she didn't care anymore. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please go to Qidian to subscribe to support, vote for a monthly vote, vote for a recommendation vote, bookmark, and reward. Thank you for all forms of support. Thank you to Guff8547985, Falling Flowers Intent, Flowing Water Love, Cabbage, and other fellow Taoists for their support. /o// Chapter 51-29. Wu Qing looked like he was flying slowly, but his body was extremely fast. While the roar of thunder was still echoing in the depths of Mount Lema, he was already near the thunder plain. Imperial Thunder Transformation. Fairy Yao Feng cried out in surprise. This is Imperial Thunder Transformation. How could he possibly execute the Imperial Thunder Transformation? Thunder Mang Immortal also suppressed the ecstasy in his heart and nodded. Yes, this is Imperial Thunder Transformation. Of course, before Master Qian Lazy fell, he had already stepped into the realm of Imperial Thunder Transformation. I once had the chance to see him use it with my own eyes. But... Thunder Mang Immortal's voice paused for a moment, and his tone was slightly high. He then said excitedly, "Of course, when Master Qian Lazy used it, it was a bit forced. It was far from Wu Qing's leisurely stroll. Under the gaze of tens of thousands of people, Wu Qing was indifferent, as if he saw nothing. He scanned with his divine sense and saw that almost all the disciples of Imperial Thunder sect were covering the Mount Lema, covering half the sky. His face was different from Xiang Zhili and Cui Yingying's, without any ripples. He also ignored the people on the Thunder Plain and flew to the people of Myriad Thunder Valley. He landed in front of Zhuaying and kowtowed. Boy is unfilial. Greetings, mother. When Wu Qing used Imperial Thunder Transformation, Cui Yingying had already told Zhuaying about Wu Qing's cultivation with a proud tone. At this moment, Zhuaying's eyes were filled with tears. She helped Wu Qing up and said, Get up, junior martial uncle has come out of seclusion. When Wu Qing got up, Xiang Zhili flew over and said with a smile, You stole my limelight the moment you came out. Will you die if you don't use Imperial Thunder Transformation? If you don't use Imperial Thunder Transformation, everyone will treat you as a Midyuanying senior. Wu Qing didn't say much. He glanced at Xiang Zhili and said, I didn't plan to use it at first, but seeing mother here, I can't help it, quick. Xiang Zhili urged again. Do you still have the pills Master Lei Ting gave you? My father's gold core is broken. Oh. When Wu Qing heard that Xiang Yang's golden core had shattered, he merely raised his eyebrows. He was so calm that he wouldn't blink even if a mountain collapsed. He raised his hand and took out a storage pouch, handing it to Xiang Zhili. Here are all the pills. Give them to eldest senior brother. Xiang Zhili took the storage bag, glanced at it, and took out a jade bottle. He handed the storage bag back to Wu Qing and said with a smile, You should keep these. Maybe you can use it. Xiang Zhili then pointed at the Thunder Plain and said, They're fighting over your position as the Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. All right, I got it. Wu Qing took the storage pouch, responded, and saluted his mother. Mother, this boy will be back soon. Go. Although Zhuo Wu was confused, he still waved his hand and said, Don't delay the important matters of the sect. Yes, mother. After Wu Qing finished speaking, he urged his figure onto the Thunder Arena. What's going on? Zhuo Wu didn't have to ask, but how could Cui Hongshan hold back? As soon as Wu Qing flew away, Cui Hongshan asked anxiously, Why didn't you tell me just now? Xiang Zhili shrugged and said with a helpless expression, Martial Uncle Cui, don't ask me. Wu Qing didn't tell me this. I only heard Yingying mention it occasionally. If you want to know, you can ask your precious daughter. As he spoke, Xiang Zhili urged his figure to fly in front of Xiang Yang and said warmly, Father, this is a pill refined by Master Lei Ting. You should take one first. After a few days, this boy will take you to see Senior Lei Yunzi. He's a spirit-severing intermediate stage cultivator. He might have a way. How could Xiang Yang take it? He said evasively, Father has just taken the pill refined by your adoptive father in his early years. It feels good now. There are very few pills refined by spirit-severing seniors in the world. You should keep this pill. Xiang Zhili's nose twitched, and he said somewhat unyieldingly, Father, although adoptive father's pill is very good, it's almost 1,000 years old after all. Its efficacy is really hard to say. Why don't you take this pill as well? If you don't, then I'll throw it away. As he spoke, Xiang Zhili made a gesture to throw it away. Xiang Yang naturally thought this was Xiang Zhili's filial piety. He hurriedly said, Okay, father will take it now. When Xiang Yang took the pill, Cui Hongshan asked Cui Yingying in a low voice, Yingying, when did your junior martial uncle become pregnant? What's the matter with this Heavenly Thunder Palace Lord? At the mention of Wu Qing, Cui Yingying's eyes couldn't help but soften, and her cheeks became shy. She said in a low voice, Junior martial uncle cultivated faster than us. 100 years ago, when the boy and the others returned to the Imperial Thunder Sept, he had already reached the Great Circle of Gold Core. If not for the Sect Master's secret order, we would have returned after he became pregnant. That day, when we met Sect Master Qian Lazy, Sect Master asked him to stay alone for a while. Later, I heard him say that Sect Master Qian Lazy gave him the Heavenly Thunder Palace Lord's Imperial Seal. After he became pregnant, he would take over the Heavenly Thunder Palace. However, Father, you also know Junior Martial Uncle's character. Of course, he couldn't refuse it, so he accepted it. Later on, he probably concentrated on cultivating and threw this matter to the back of his mind. Now that the time had come, he had no choice but to go to the Thunder Arena. No wonder the Heavenly Thunder Palace has never decided on a Palace Lord. Cui Hongshan suddenly understood, and said, so it's because the Heavenly Thunder Palace Lord's Imperial Seal couldn't be found. However, Wuqing is a disciple of my Thunderous Thunder Palace. Is it suitable for him to take over the Heavenly Thunder Palace? Wuqing said so. Cui Yingying replied with a smile. He also used this reason to fob off Sect Master Qian Lazy. However, Sect Master Qian Lazy said that Wuqing could be considered his last disciple, so of course he was qualified to take over the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Moreover, Thunderous Master is also a senior of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Wuqing has received guidance from Thunderous Master, so he is even more qualified to take the position of Palace Lord. Oh my! Suddenly, Cui Hongshan thought of something, and said in a low voice, Yingying, you seem to be less than 800 years old this year, right? Cui Yingying's face turned red, and she rebuked, Father, why are you asking about a boy's age? Cui Hongshan didn't notice Cui Yingying's shyness, and continued to say in a low voice, your martial uncle Wuqing is a few years younger than you, but he has already reached the middle Yuanying stage. At such a young age, he actually has such a high cultivation level. It's really shocking. Father has never heard of it. Compared to him, our lifespans have all been wasted. Master Qian Lazy gave the position of Palace Lord of the Heavenly Thunder Palace to Wuqing 100 years ago. Now, among the 8 great Thunder Palaces, the youngest one should be Fairy Jing Feng of the Exchanged Thunder Palace. However, Fairy Jing Feng is only at the peak of the early Yuanying stage. She hasn't reached the middle Yuanying stage yet, and her lifespan is much longer than Wuqing's. In that case, Master Qian Lazy's favorite candidate for the next Palace Lord should be Wuqing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so careless as to not appoint a Palace Lord. When Cui Yingying heard Cui Hongshan mention the position of Palace Lord of the Imperial Thunder Sect, although she knew that her father was right, these words were obviously completely different from what she wanted to hear, so she couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. However, since the words involved Wuqing, Cui Yingying also felt sweet in her heart. The more Cui Hongshan thought about it, the more he felt that Master Qian Lazy's arrangement was brilliant. He couldn't help but whisper, since Master Qian Lazy wanted Wuqing to take over the Palace Lord of the Imperial Thunder Sect, but at that time, he had just reached the peak of Gold Core. If he suddenly announced it, not only would it affect Wuqing's cultivation, it would also cause changes in the Heavenly Thunder Palace and even the entire Imperial Thunder Sect. Therefore, he simply gave the seal of the Heavenly Thunder Palace to Wuqing, making it impossible for the Palace Lord to be appointed within 1,000 years. Similarly, he did not appoint a sect leader because he expected that there would be disputes between Reverend Lei Meng, Fairy Xianhua, and the others. When the dust settled, or even before the dust settled, Wuqing would be able to conceive a nascent soul and temporarily take over the Heavenly Thunder Palace, and then the Imperial Thunder Sect. Brilliant. Really brilliant. Although Cui Yingying was already a Yuanying Grandmaster, after she reconstructed her body, she was no different from a young girl in her 20s. When she heard Cui Hongshan talking to himself, she couldn't help but whisper, Father, Wuqing only likes to cultivate. Why would he like to be a Palace Lord? What Wuqing? Cui Hongshan glared at Cui Yingying and said, that's your junior martial uncle. Don't call him that in the future. Cui Yingying pouted and nodded. I know, father, don't mind your father. Dui Qiming, who had been standing at the side, didn't say anything. At this time, she lovingly took Cui Yingying in her arms and said, quickly tell mother, how did you conceive a baby? No matter how much mother practiced, she couldn't find the feeling of conceiving a baby. Mother. Cui Yingying smiled bitterly. How could conceiving a baby be so casual? Boy has a thunder core in his dantian, and he also obtained a fragment of the thunder concealing bead. Oh, and he also had the opportunity to comprehend the birth and destruction of thunder in the eye of the Imperial Thunder Sect's Grand Array. Even so, the boy was still trapped in the great circle of Gold Core realm for more than 50 years. Only 50 years, it's nothing. Dui Qiming curled her lips. She looked exactly like Cui Yingying and said, Mother has been trapped in the late stage of Gold Core realm for 200 years. Mother, wait until we return to the Myriad Thunder Valley. Boy will tell you about his experience of conceiving a baby. Maybe it will be useful. Cui Yingying hurriedly coaxed Dui Qiming. The disciples of the Myriad Thunder Valley were jubilant. Just a moment ago, they were about to be cleaned up, but now there were 3 more nascent soul masters. One of them was even a middle-stage, nascent soul cultivator, not much inferior to the sect leader. Their waists immediately straightened. In the entire Imperial Thunder sect, which palace branch could compare with them? While they were whispering, Wu Qing urged his figure to fly to the Thunder Arena. Seeing Wu Qing flying over, the 7 palace masters didn't dare to be negligent. Except for Fairy Xianhua, who was slightly reserved, the others all came to welcome him. Thunder Tablet Spiritual Master laughed and said, Wu Qing, when did you conceive a baby? How come we didn't know about it? P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please go to Qidian to subscribe to support, vote for a monthly vote for a recommendation vote, bookmark, and reward. Thank you for all kinds of support. Thank you to Guff85479885, Falling Flowers Intent, Flowing Water Love, Cabbage, and other fellow Taoists for their support. / /. Chapter 5130. Although Wu Qing's expression was still as cold as before, he did not lack etiquette. He hastily bowed and said, Seniors, please know that this disciple was not pregnant in the Thunder Mountain Range, but went to the Thunder Accumulation Cave with Master Lei Ting, so it did not affect you. Thunder Accumulation Cave. Hearing this, Thunder Meng Daoist unconsciously smiled. Before he was pregnant, he had also comprehended in the Thunder Accumulation Cave. Now, Wu Qing was also pregnant near the Thunder Accumulation Cave. Thinking of fate, Thunder Meng Daoist unconsciously thought of Xiao Hua, whom he had almost forgotten. Thunder Meng Daoist's thoughts ran wild. The palace masters next to him quickly greeted Wu Qing. After a while, Fairy Xianhua stepped forward and said with a smile, Wu Qing, now that you have reached the middle Yuanying stage, there are not many cultivators in my thunder-controlling sect who can stand shoulder to shoulder with you. You don't have to be so humble. You should know that there is a custom in the 3 kingdoms of cultivation that after stepping into the Yuanying stage, there is no need to mention the previous seniority. New Yuanying cultivators should be treated according to the new seniority. Not to mention that Master Lei Ting is your master. In terms of seniority, this seat also has to call you senior. No need. Wu Qing's face showed no joy, nor did he look flattered. He bowed and said, This disciple is a junior. I don't want to overstep anything. Fine. Fairy Xianhua smiled and helped Wu Qing up, saying, If this seat calls you senior, how will Thunder Meng Daoist, the palace master of your thunder-shaking palace, address you? It won't be easy for him to be the palace master. Fairy Xianhua's words were incomparably provocative, but unfortunately, Wu Qing simply didn't listen. He raised his eyes to look to the left and asked, Junior would like to ask, are the 4 nascent soul disciples of the Thunder Plateau fighting for the position of Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Master? That's right. Fairy Xianhua nodded and said, you came back at the right time. Stay here and accompany this seat to see who can become the Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Junior has disappointed the Sect Master. Hearing this, Wu Qing nodded slightly and then said indifferently, I can't stay here and watch the battle with Lord Sect Master. I also have to go down and fight for the position of Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Ah. Not to mention Fairy Xianhua, even Reverend Lei Tan and the others were shocked. Looking at Wu Qing, Lei Tan Daoist asked curiously, Wu Qing, although you have received guidance from Sect Master Qian Lazy, you are still a disciple of my Thunderous Palace. If you want to be the Palace Master, this old man can give you the position of Thunderous Palace's Palace Master. Anyway, this old man's lifespan is nearing its end, and it is impossible for me to break through to the separating divinity realm in this lifetime. The position of Thunderclap Palace Lord belongs to Xiang Zhili. This junior does not dare to covet it. Wu Qing calmly told him about Master Qian Lei's arrangement. This junior has only received Master Qian Lei's instructions to take charge of the Heavenly Thunder Palace on his behalf. When Wu Qing said this, everyone was even more shocked. If Cui Hongshan could think of it, how could they not? Wu Qing. Seeing that Wu Qing was already threatening her position as the head of the sect, Fairy Xianhua coldly said, this seat knows that your cultivation is profound, but unfortunately, you are a disciple of the shocking Thunder Palace and have nothing to do with the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Everything you said, although you received Master Qian Lei's instructions, is just empty words. In the end, you are not qualified to participate in this battle for the position of the Palace Lord. Wu Qing did not hide his words from spiritual master Guangtian and the others. His return from the depths of the Thunder Mountain range had already caused the 4 people on the Thunder Plain to feel a sense of crisis. However, when they saw that Wu Qing was a disciple of the Myriad Thunder Valley, they felt relieved. When Wu Qing said that he received Master Qian Lei's instructions, they naturally felt the same as Fairy Xianhua, that Wu Qing was lying. However, Wu Qing did not refute. Instead, he took out a fist-sized, lightning-like purple seal from his bosom and said, this junior has the Heavenly Thunder Palace Lord's seal as my witness. Damn it! Not waiting for Fairy Xianhua to say anything, Spiritual Master Guangtian roared, Wu Qing, you are a disciple of the shocking Thunder Palace. How dare you steal my Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Lord seal? How should you be punished? Spiritual Master Guangtian looked at the seal in Wu Qing's hand with mixed feelings in his heart. If it were not for this Palace Lord seal, he would have already sat on the seat of Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Lord several decades ago. Of course, Spiritual Master Guangtian knew the importance of the Palace Lord seal. When Master Qian Lei fell, Spiritual Master Guangtian's first step was to look for this Palace Lord seal. He searched the entire Heavenly Thunder Palace but did not find it. He also interrogated many disciples of the Heavenly Thunder Palace, but he never thought that Master Qian Lei would give the Palace Lord seal to a disciple of the shocking Thunder Palace. Moreover, it was a chi-refining disciple that he did not even look at. However, not only did Master Qian Lei give it to him, but now Wu Qing even had the possibility of surpassing him. His dream of becoming the Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Lord was gradually becoming fainter and fainter, turning into an extravagant hope. Unfortunately, Wu Qing was not Fairy Xianhua, nor was he Xiang Zhili. Wu Qing simply ignored Spiritual Master Guangtian and only looked at Fairy Xianhua, unwilling to say another word. This. Fairy Xianhua looked at the Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Lord's seal in Wu Qing's hand and hesitated. She pondered for a moment and asked, Wu Qing, your Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Lord's seal. Master Qian Lei gave it to you, do you have any proof? Wu Qing replied, no. Since you don't have it, then you must have stolen it. Spiritual Master Quangtian had already flown over and roared, quickly return this to my heavenly thunder palace. As his figure flew closer, Spiritual Master Quangtian waved his hand and unexpectedly grabbed the purple seal in Wu Qing's hand. Thunder Tablet Reverend was really impatient. He raised his hand. Boom! A force more tyrannical than Spiritual Master Quangtian's came out of nowhere and blocked in front of Spiritual Master Quangtian. In the collision, Spiritual Master Quangtian's Yuanying hand was smashed to pieces. Thunder Tablet Reverend said coldly, we Palace Lords have yet to say anything. What qualifications do you, a Heavenly Thunder Palace disciple, have to speak? Based on this character alone, I don't agree with you being the Palace Lord of Heavenly Thunder Palace. Spiritual Master Quangtian's figure was unstable, and he was sent flying several hundred meters in the air before he could stand still. He glanced at Thunder Tablet Reverend and laughed wildly. Thunder Tablet Reverend, this is my Heavenly Thunder Palace's matter, and it has nothing to do with your Thunderclap Palace. If you were the Palace Lord of my Imperial Thunder sect, I would naturally listen to you. Unfortunately, you're just the Palace Lord of Thunderclap Palace. Your words, Tisk Tsk, you really can't compare to Lord Palace Lord. Thunder Tablet Reverend was offended by Spiritual Master Quangtian in public, and his anger surged. He berated, impudent. Lord Palace Lord. Spiritual Master Quangtian ignored Thunder Tablet Reverend and flew close to 3,000 meters. He bowed to Fairy Xianhua and said, you must uphold justice for my Heavenly Thunder Palace. The matter is already very clear. Thunderclap Palace's scheme is not small. They are no longer satisfied with their own strength, and want to encroach on my Heavenly Thunder Palace. When Palace Lord Qian Lazy fell, his disciples searched everywhere for this seal. If Wu Qing was bestowed by Palace Lord Qian Lazy, he would certainly have the Palace Lord's token. Even if he didn't have the Palace Lord's token, he should have taken out the seal and announced the Palace Lord's will after the Palace Lord's fall. Why did Wu Qing not dare to take it out until today when we're about to compete for the position of Palace Lord of Heavenly Thunder Palace? Clearly, he has a guilty conscience and has been secretly coveting this opportunity. Furthermore, if the Deafening Thunder Palace controls my Heavenly Thunder Palace, the 8 Great Thunder Palaces will have the ability to go against them as equals. 2 Thunder Palaces will have to look up to a certain Thunder Palace Master. How could the plans of this Thunder Palace Master be as simple as it seems? Spiritual Master Quangtian's words were directed at Thunder Tablet Reverend, and even hinted that Thunder Tablet Reverend coveted the position of Imperial Thunder Sect's Palace Lord. Although it was a provocation, in Fairy Xianhua's ears, there was a faint resonance in her heart. Fairy Xianhua looked at Wu Qing and said indifferently, Wu Qing, you're not the Palace Lord of Heavenly Thunder Palace. You don't have the qualifications to wield this seal. How about giving it to me for safekeeping? Wu Qing refused without even thinking. Sorry, this is a gift from Palace Lord Qian Lazy. Forgive this junior for not agreeing. If it were Qian Lazy, perhaps he would look around and say with a smile, everyone, what do you think? But it was a pity that this was Fairy Xianhua. When she heard Wu Qing refuted her words, she immediately became slightly angry and said in a low voice, Wu Qing, don't think that I can't do anything to you just because you're a mid-nascent soul cultivator and a disciple personally taught by senior brother Qian Lazy. I'm the Palace Lord of Imperial Thunder Sect, and my words are the Palace Lord's decree. How dare you disobey? Wu Qing was not moved, and said coldly, this junior has to obey Palace Lord's decree. But if Palace Lord wants to take away this junior's things, forgive this junior for not obeying. Cough cough. Fairy Xianfeng finally could not stand it anymore. She let out a low cough and said, Palace Lord, I have a few words that I don't know if I should say. Fairy Xianhua turned to look at Fairy Xianfeng and said with a smile, "Junior sister Xianfeng, please speak." That year, senior brother Qianlazy appointed I and junior brother Lei Meng to personally instruct Cui Yingying and Xiang Zhili of Myriad Thunder Valley, and he taught Wu Qing himself, Fairy Xianfeng said. I don't know what Wu Qing and Xiang Zhili's aptitudes are like, but I know Cui Yingying's aptitude very well. She's very rare in my Imperial Thunder sect, and even in the 3 kingdoms of cultivation, she's extremely rare. Facts have also proven that senior brother Qianlazy's decision was correct. Cui Yingying and Xiang Zhili have cultivated to nascent soul in just a few hundred years, which is very rare in the world. This kind of aptitude is very popular in anyone's eyes. If possible, I was willing to give the position of Palace Lord of Mythical Thunder Palace to Cui Yingying. Then look at Wu Qing. His aptitude and bearing are even better than Cui Yingying and Xiang Zhili's. At such a young age, he's already a mid-nascent soul cultivator. Before today, I wouldn't even have dared to think about it. It's normal for senior brother Qianlazy to have a heart of appreciation for talent. The Palace Lord of Canlei Palace, Zhishuanzi, said unhappily, "Senior sister Xianfeng, if you want to be the Palace Lord of Mythical Thunder Palace, it's not only about cultivation, but also the ability to lead heroes. If you give the Mythical Thunder Palace to Cui Yingying, she'll definitely make a mess of it." Of course, Yingying isn't the best candidate for the Palace Lord. Fairy Xianfeng said with a smile, "I already knew this, so I never considered it. But as far as I know, Wu Qing is very calm, and his expression doesn't change even in the face of a landslide. Isn't such a calm cultivator the best candidate for the Palace Lord of Mythical Thunder Palace?" P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, give it a recommendation vote, collect it, and give it a tip. Thank you to Guff85479885, Falling Flowering Tent, Flowing Water, and Cabbage for your support. /o// Chapter 5131. The Palace Master of Sun Thunder Palace, Lei Tingzi, shook his head and said, "If Wu Qing was given another 1,000 years, I would definitely agree. But now, he is too young and may not be suitable to be the Palace Master of Heavenly Thunder Palace." The Palace Master of Sun Thunder Palace, Fairy Jingfeng, was also young. She smiled and said, "Back then, when I was in charge of Sun Thunder Palace, I seemed to be similar to Xing Yunzi. My cultivation was only at the late gold core stage, but under the protection of the Palace Master and the other Palace Masters, I was able to survive." "That's true." Xing Yunzi smiled and said, "Although Wu Qing is young, his cultivation is frighteningly high. This calmness also far surpasses ours back then." Fairy Yaofeng smiled and said, "In other words, the focus of our discussion is whether Wu Qing is suitable to be the Palace Master of Heavenly Thunder Palace, and not whether Wu Qing is qualified." This. Lei Tingzi and Zhishuanzi were at a loss for words. Whether or not Wu Qing was qualified and whether or not he was suitable were obviously 2 different issues. And from their intuition, they did not think that Wu Qing was not qualified to compete for the position of Palace Master of Heavenly Thunder Palace. Fairy Yaofeng continued, "I think that all of you are the same as I. You think that it must be senior brother Qianlazy who likes Wu Qing's aptitude. But at that time, his cultivation was shallow and he was still a disciple of Sun Thunder Palace, so he did not rashly let him take charge of Heavenly Thunder Palace, and thus gave the Heavenly Thunder Palace's seal to Wu Qing. Of course, this is only our guess and cannot be taken seriously. So, I give Palace Master 2 suggestions. Please speak." Fairy Xianhua nodded. "The first suggestion is..." Fairy Yaofeng smiled and said, since Wuqing was guided by Master Lei Tingzi, who was also the Palace Master of Heavenly Thunder Palace even earlier, Palace Master only needs to ask him to come out and verify whether this seal was personally given to Wuqing by senior brother Qian Leizi. If it is true, then let Wuqing take charge of Heavenly Thunder Palace. If it is false, then punish Wuqing. Fairy Xianhua frowned and said, Master Lei Ting is a spirit-severing stage senior. Even I haven't seen him for many years. I'm afraid it's not good to disturb his meditation for such a trivial matter. Fairy Xianhua wasn't surprised by Fairy Xianhua's reaction. She continued, my second suggestion is that since the sect master can't verify senior brother Qian Leizi's will, we'll take a step back and assume that this imperial seal was given to Wuqing by senior brother Qian Leizi. However, we won't hand the palace master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace over to Wuqing right now. Instead, we'll let him participate in today's palace master battle. Beside them, Daoist Crazed Heaven was so infuriated that his nose was about to turn crooked. Fairy Yao Feng had been talking for half a day, but in the end, she still supported Wuqing's participation in the palace master battle. Moreover, if he didn't agree to Wuqing's participation, Wuqing would directly take over the palace master battle. He couldn't help but cry out, Fairy Yao Feng, I don't agree with your two suggestions. Your two suggestions are based on the fact that Senior Qian Leizi gave the imperial seal to Wuqing. Fairy Yao Feng sneered and said, Guangtian, senior brother Qian Leizi is a late nascent soul stage cultivator. His magical abilities are far beyond what you and I know. Wuqing is a gold core stage cultivator. How could he steal the imperial seal from senior brother Qian Leizi? Moreover, when senior brother Qian Leizi fell, you were all in the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Did you see Wuqing's figure? Besides, Guangtian, if you have the ability, go steal the imperial seal of a palace master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Without another word, I'll be the first to support you to be the palace master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. If you don't have the ability, don't blame others for being one step ahead of you. And, we also agree with senior sister Yaofeng's suggestion. Xing Yunzi looked at Fairy Jingfeng. The two of them took the initiative to express their views. If we don't ask Master Lei Ting to verify the authenticity of this imperial seal, we should let Wuqing go to the racing thunder plane. Lei Tingzi and Jishuanzi looked at each other and didn't say anything. They already understood that with Gen Lei Palace and Converted Lei Palace's agreement, as well as Distant Lei Palace and Shocking Lei Palace, 4 out of the 7 major Lei Palaces supported Wuqing. It was useless for them to say anything more. All right. Fairy Xianhua nodded and said, since everyone supports Wuqing going to the Racing Thunder Plane, then this seat agrees that Wuqing will go to the Racing Thunder Plane and participate in the battle for the Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Thank you, Lord Sect Master. Wuqing was still expressionless. He put away the purple imperial seal and bowed. Looking at Daoist Guangtian, he snorted and turned into a gust of wind. Looking at Daoist Guangtian's back, the faces of the 7 major Lei Palace's palace masters were either filled with sneers, disdain, regret, or so on and so forth. Fairy Xianhua looked at the dark night and the bright moon hanging high in the sky. High up in the sky, where the 7 racing thunder plane used to be, 7 huge balls of lightning had replaced it, emitting strange lightning that illuminated the Thunder Mountain range. Her heart suddenly relaxed a lot. 2 nascent soul disciples had successfully conceived their nascent souls, and 1 mid-stage nascent soul disciple had returned. This really made the Imperial Thunder Sect's strength rise to a new level. Her face also carried the excitement of an ordinary disciple. She said, disciples of the Imperial Thunder Sect, thank our Imperial Thunder Sect's ancestral masters for their protection. Our Imperial Thunder Sect has gained another 3 nascent soul grandmasters. This is rare even in the country of Shi and the three kingdoms of cultivation. What's more, Wuqing has been exhorted by Master Qian Lazy and carefully guided by Master Lei Ting. Today, he has returned at the right time. The position of Palace Master of my Heavenly Thunder Palace is vacant, and he has the intention to contribute more to our Imperial Thunder sect, so I can't stop him. Therefore, I announce that I agree to let Wuqing participate in the battle for the position of Palace Master of Heavenly Thunder Palace. Buzz. Fairy Xianhua's words were like a ladle of water being poured into a pot of hot oil. All the disciples of the Imperial Thunder sect exploded. Some shouted, some whispered, some were excited, and some were dissatisfied. After all the palace masters came from their own lay palaces, and there was no exception since the establishment of Imperial Thunder sect. They could not accept it at once, and some disciples of Heavenly Thunder Palace even shouted and wanted to fly out to protest. Daoist Quangtian sneered and just watched indifferently. Humph. Reverend Thunder Meng was the first to speak. Disciples of Thunderclap Palace, quiet down. The disciples of Thunderclap Palace were naturally excited. Hearing Reverend Thunder Meng's order, they immediately shut their mouths and watched quietly. Disciples of Mythical Thunder Palace. Fairy Xian Feng was even more serious. With just 5 words, the disciples of Mythical Thunder Palace no longer dared to make a sound. In just a short moment, all the 7 lay palaces quieted down. Even if the disciples of Heavenly Thunder Palace who supported Daoist Quangtian wanted to make a fuss, when they saw that the surrounding disciples had already quieted down, they shrunk their necks and landed. Disciples. Fairy Xianhua looked around and spoke again. The palace masters of each lightning palace are all disciples of their own lay palaces. This is the usual practice. However, it is not impossible to break. Just like the establishment of the palaces, it is also common sense and not impossible to clean up. Looking at the country of Shi, after the great battle of the Tao of Sword, the power of sword cultivators infiltrated Tao cultivators, and Heavenly Demon sect took over the entire Dawn Rain continent. The situation of the entire world changed greatly. Our Imperial Thunder sect strength has already gradually declined. If we still remain stagnant and conservative, I'm afraid we will be eliminated by Tao cultivators sooner or later and become a small second-rate sect. The foundation that our patriarch established for thousands of years will be destroyed. Therefore, today's 100 Palace competition is the first revolution, and the Palace Master Battle of Heavenly Thunder Palace is the second. I hope our Imperial Thunder sect can maintain its stability under this vigorous revolution, and forever stand in the Lamo mountain range of the country of Shi. Oh. Hearing Fairy Xianhua's words, Thunder Talisman Daoist was startled. He unconsciously raised his eyebrows and looked at Fairy Xianhua. Thunder Talisman Daoist did not know if Fairy Xianhua's words came from the bottom of her heart, or if Fairy Xianhua was unable to step down from the stage and decided to string the matters of the two sects together. Could it be? Looking at Fairy Xianhua's calm expression, Thunder Talisman Daoist thought inwardly, Fairy Xianhua is not as ignorant as this old man thought. Fairy Xianhua did not pay attention to the others. Seeing that Wuqing had already landed on the Thunder Arena, she spoke, "Disciples on the Thunder Arena, listen to my command." Unfortunately, before Fairy Xianhua could give the order, 2 people on the Thunder Arena flew up at the same time and shouted, "Lord Sect Master, we have something to say, damn it." Fairy Xianhua had a bad temper. Seeing the twists and turns in the Palace Master Battle of Heavenly Thunder Palace, she could not help but angrily shout, "What is the meaning of this?" The 2 who flew up were Qian Qingzi and Qian Fengju. They flew in front of Fairy Xianhua, bowed and said, "Junior has something to report." If she could use vulgarities, Fairy Xianhua would not mind giving them the, "If you have something to say, just say it." She held back her anger and said, "Speak," reporting to Sect Master. Qingzi said with a smile, "We are all disciples of Heavenly Thunder Palace and know the importance of the Palace Master position. The reason why the Palace Master position has been undecided for dozens of years is because our Heavenly Thunder Palace does not have a suitable disciple." We also agreed with Kuang Tianren vying for the position of Palace Lord of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. However, he has no experience in handling palace affairs and his temper is slightly irritable. We feel that if we don't take him down a notch, with his arrogance, I'm afraid the Heavenly Thunder Palace will not have peace in the future. Therefore, we joined forces and wanted to compete with him on the Thunder Field. And now, Wu Qing from Thunderquake Palace has also come out to compete for the position of Palace Master. We don't know much about Wu Qing, but we believe in Sect Master Qian Leizi's foresight, and even more so in Wu Qing's cultivation. Even if Wu Qing can't seize the position of Palace Master, he can still give Daoist Crazed Heaven a head-on blow, letting him understand that strength alone is not enough to convince the masses. If the two of us are on the Thunder Arena, we will definitely be biased towards Wu Qing or Wild Heaven Daoist. This way, no matter who it is, it will be unfair. Therefore, the two of us have chosen to withdraw. Fairy Xianhua was originally angry, but after hearing Qian Qingzi and Qian Fengju's words, she unconsciously clapped her hands and said, "Good. The two of you are originally the Palace Masters of Thunder Palace and Thunder Palace. If we are talking about qualifications that are deeper than Wild Heaven Daoist, then if it were not for your limited strength, the two of you would also be worthy of being the Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace." Previously, this seat thought that the two of you would fight for the Palace Master position, but this seat really did not expect that the two of you would retreat in the face of difficulties. This retreat is not because you are afraid, but for the stability of the Heavenly Thunder Palace, for the stability of my Imperial Thunder Sect. This is a good step back. Retreat with dignity. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please go to Qidian to subscribe to support, cast a monthly vote, cast a recommendation vote, bookmark, reward, and thank you for all forms of support. Thank you to Guff8547985, Falling Flowers Intent, Flowing Water Love, Cabbage, and other fellow Taoists for their support. /o// Chapter 5132. Disciples' thoughts aren't as far-sighted as sect masters. Qian Fengju hurriedly bowed. Disciple and the others aren't worthy of sect master's praise. You may leave. Fairy Xianhua smiled and said, "In a few days, I will bestow rewards to all of you." "Thank you, sect master." Qian Fengju and Qian Qingzi bowed and retreated. Fairy Xianhua looked up at the Thunder Arena. At this time, there were only 3 people on the arena. Wu Qing first stood in the center of the arena, waiting for Qian Fengju and Qian Qingzi to leave. His figure flashed and landed in a corner, forming a triangle with Daoist Quangtian and Daoist Swift Wind. "Listen to my command," Fairy Xianhua said and paused for a moment. Seeing that there were no more abnormalities, she continued, "The battle for the Palace Lord of the Heavenly Thunder Palace shall now begin." As Fairy Xianhua's voice fell, several muffled booms rang out. Among the lightning balls that covered the 8 great lightning palaces, 3 of them slowly rotated and moved towards the Thunder Arena. In just a few moments, the area within 100 miles of the Thunder Arena was shrouded in lightning. Wu Qing, Daoist Quangtian, and Daoist Swift Wind stood quietly on the Thunder Arena. No one rushed to make the first move. "Damn it!" Daoist Quangtian stared at Wu Qing. He knew in his heart that his greatest opponent in this battle was Wu Qing. If Daoist Swift Wind wasn't there, he would definitely move and use his divine ability to attack Wu Qing. However, with Daoist Swift Wind here, Daoist Quangtian didn't dare to agree. Although Daoist Swift Wind was an early nascent soul cultivator, he was still a nascent soul master. It wasn't difficult for him to be a fisherman. Quangtian. Suddenly, Daoist Swift Wind's voice sounded in Daoist Quangtian's ears. This old man originally joined forces with Qian Fengju and the others, but I didn't expect them to flee. Before they left, they sent me a voice transmission, wanting me to advance and retreat with them. This old man's strength isn't as good as yours and Wu Qing's, but this old man feels that the Palace Lord of the Heavenly Thunder Palace should be a disciple of my Heavenly Thunder Palace. The other disciples of the 7 Great Lightning Palaces aren't qualified. However, we can't disobey sect master's orders, so this old man has chosen to stay and help you repel Wu Qing. Daoist Crazed Heaven was delighted, but he didn't dare to trust Daoist Swift Wind too much because he didn't know much about him. It was only after Swift Wind Sage had participated in the competition for the position of Palace Master of the Heavenly Thunder Palace that Crazy Heaven had investigated Swift Wind Sage's background. Before Jiefeng Immortal became a baby, his name was Qian Qing. He was a disciple of the Imperial Thunder Sea. The Imperial Thunder sect had 3 Thunder Forbidden Grounds, the 1,000 Thunder Mountain, the 10,000 Thunder Valley, and the Imperial Thunder Sea. Previously, the Imperial Thunder Sea belonged to the Shocking Thunder Palace, but because of its importance, it was transferred to the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Qian Cheng was from the Imperial Thunder Sea. The Imperial Thunder Sea was similar to the Myriad Thunder Valley in that it was an absolute chore. The disciples of the Imperial Thunder Sea were simply not worthy of Daoist Crazed Heaven's attention. Similarly, Qian Cheng of the Royal Thunder Sea was also a very low-key disciple before she became pregnant. She never appeared in the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Due to the unique geography of the Royal Thunder Sea and the vast sea of thunder inside, it was also a good place to temper the cultivation of cultivators. Although Qian Cheng's advancement was slow in this kind of difficult situation, she was very solid. After the change in the Myriad Thunder Valley, the Royal Thunder sect increased the defense of the 1,000 Thunder Mountain and the Royal Thunder Sea, mobilizing more disciples to guard these 2 important places. Only then did Qian Qing have a chance to leave the Royal Thunder Sea. After leaving the Royal Thunder Sea, Qian Qing only stayed dormant for 10 years, but immediately showed signs of soaring. Her cultivation and realm increased rapidly, and she even stepped into the nascent soul stage 20 years before Qian Lazy's death. However, after becoming pregnant, Swift Wind Sage still kept a low profile. In addition to recruiting more disciples, he didn't participate in the affairs of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Therefore, Crazy Heaven had only heard of his name before and didn't pay much attention to it. In particular, before Wu Qing appeared, Crazy Heaven was facing 3 disciples in the early nascent soul stage. How could he not know that the 3 had already discussed it? At this time, when he heard Swift Wind Sage's voice transmission, he naturally had some doubts. Crazy Heaven had a bad temper, but he was also straightforward. He directly asked, "What benefits do you want?" "It's very simple." Swift Wind Sage said with a smile, "Qian Qingzi promised me the Rumbling Thunder Hall Master. Since he gave in, then High Thunder Hall." "Well said." Crazy Heaven was overjoyed and replied, "If you can help me, not to mention High Thunder Hall, I can even give you Rumbling Thunder Hall." "Good." Swift Wind Sage was also overjoyed and said, "Although I didn't want to let the disciples of Rumbling Thunder Palace meddle in the affairs of the Heavenly Thunder Palace, since the Palace Lord is so generous, I will respectfully accept." After saying that, Swift Wind Sage whistled and his body turned into a stream of light, pouncing on Wu Qing. As the stream of light gradually approached, clang, 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 a series of sword sounds rose into the sky. A flying sword condensed from lightning flew out of Swift Wind Sage's body and fiercely stabbed at Wu Qing. Wu Qing was similar to Crazy Heaven's thought. He almost didn't put Swift Wind Sage in his eyes and only paid attention to Crazy Heaven's movements. Seeing Swift Wind Sage make the first move, how could he not know what Swift Wind Sage was planning? However, Wu Qing still let out a faint sound of surprise. His expression didn't change and he waved his hand. Woo! A fist shadow of a few feet in size flew out and met the flying sword like a meteor. Isn't this child underestimating his opponent too much? Seeing Wu Qing use his fist to meet Swift Wind Sage's lightning sword, Thunder Sage frowned and thought to himself, after all, Swift Wind Sage is also a Yuanine master. However, in just a moment, Thunder Sage's face revealed a shocked expression. Because as the fist shadow flew out, a hurricane immediately appeared in the vicinity of a few miles. Countless small vortexes were born along with the hurricane and then twisted and elongated. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth turned into strands of sparkling crystal silk and fell into the fist shadow. When it flew out several hundred feet, the fist shadow had expanded to several dozen feet. Not only that, on the fist shadow, there were clearly visible lightning patterns that became clearer as the fist grew bigger. When the lightning patterns were revealed, lightning threads fell from the void and a series of condensed thunder sounds faintly emerged from the fist, like the roar of the thunder god. What kind of secret technique is this? Even someone as strong as Reverend Lei Meng was dumbfounded. He had already discovered two strange points. Firstly, the speed at which Wu Qing condensed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was extremely fast, many times faster than ordinary cultivators. Even he himself could not compare with Wu Qing. Second, the lightning patterns on the fist seemed to be innate. If it wasn't some secret technique, then Wu Qing had the innate ability to control lightning. Thunder Sage couldn't help but groan, could it be? Wu Qing, Li, and Yingying's lightning core power is far beyond this old man's imagination. Or perhaps, these three people have some kind of opportunity. Just as the lightning and fists were about to collide, another rumbling sound could be heard. Crazy Heaven made his move. He opened his mouth and a spear-shaped magic treasure fell into the air. This magic treasure was a few inches long and was covered with runes. It was covered with a layer of lightning that let out a rumbling sound. Madman Tian raised his hand and pointed at Wu Qing. Then, he blew out a mouthful of true energy, causing the lightning spear to emit a dazzling light that shook the surrounding space. It was even more arrogant than the swift wind Daoist's lightning sword and Wu Qing's fist combined as it rushed towards Wu Qing. Humph. Fairy Yao Feng snorted and said, the two of them actually joined hands to deal with Wu Qing. This is really beyond this old woman's expectations. Senior sister, you think too much. Lei Tingzi laughed, now there are only 3 people on the Thunder Arena. No matter how they fight, it will be 2 against 1. It can't be fair. Besides, it would be strange if the 2 Heavenly Thunder Palace disciples didn't join hands. Xing Yunzi said meaningfully, now it seems that Qian Qingzi and Qian Fengju's withdrawal also has a deeper meaning. Zhi Xuanzi said indifferently, it's more than just a deeper meaning, it's simply a clever move. The Heavenly Thunder Palace is indeed full of talents. These 2 palace masters are amazing. On one hand, they received the sect master's praise. On the other hand, they won the praise of all the disciples. On the other hand, they also got rid of the Heavenly Thunder Palace's bad reputation of joining hands to resist Wu Qing. Damn it! Not only were the masters of the 7 Thunder Palaces worried about Wu Qing, but the disciples of the myriad Thunder Valley were also anxious. Even Cui Yingying clasped her hands together and cursed in a low voice, eldest senior brother, shall we join them? On the other hand, Xiang Zhili replied lazily, this is not like when we fought with the other disciples of the Thunder Palace when we were young. How can we go just like that? Don't worry, Wu Qing has a way. It's not like you don't know that he's the most scheming. But Cui Yingying still wanted to say something. Woo-woo. A whimpering sound suddenly rose from where Wu Qing's left hand was, and a fist-sized black shadow flew out from Wu Qing's hand. As Wu Qing raised his hand and pointed, pieces of brilliant light fell like blooming epiphyllum, and an 8-sided hammer flew out from the brilliant light. This hammer had a handle that was shaped like lightning. 8 thunder patterns were engraved on the 8 sides of the hammer, and the thunder patterns on each side condensed into a unique rune. The rune emitted a brilliance of different colors. Streaks of thunder fell into the rune from the void, and 8 clear shadows of ancient characters emerged from the hammer. They were respectively Qian Kuan, Kenli, Jin Zhen, Sun Dui. As soon as the 8 runes appeared, a nameless power emerged from the hammer and rushed toward Kuang Tian. Humph! Sage Jifeng snorted coldly and thought to himself, no wonder he didn't dare to activate his magic weapon to resist Ai's thunder sword. It turns out that he was afraid of Kuang Tian's attack. However, how can you be Ai's opponent with just this fist? As he spoke, Sage Jifeng's thunder sword had already pierced Wu Qing's fist. Boom! With a loud sound, Wu Qing's fist shadow suddenly exploded, and the sound of beating drums that had been brewing earlier mixed with a river of thunder water poured into the thunder sword. In an instant, hundreds of thunder lights were annihilated, and the thunder sword's shadow collapsed inch by inch, revealing the original form of the thunder sword. Similarly, the thunder light of Wu Qing's fist was also defeated by the sword light, revealing the dark fist inside. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Qidian, vote for it, give it a recommendation vote, collect it, and reward it. Thank you to half-sentence Jeanshire for your reward. / /. Chapter 5133. Bang! In the blink of an eye, the fist broke through the sword's radiance and hit the thunder sword. Clang! The thunder sword let out a mournful cry as it was knocked into the air. Damn it! Sage Windstorm cursed. His body trembled as if he had been struck by lightning, and his face turned pale. He couldn't help but exclaim in surprise, How is this possible? This guy can actually block my magic treasure with his body. If so, how can I fight with this guy? There was a huge gap between the nascent soul early stage and the nascent soul middle stage, but Daoist Master Jifeng did not think that there would be an insurmountable gap between him and Heartless, who had just stepped into the nascent soul middle stage. However, if his magic weapon could not withstand the opponent's fist, was there any suspense in this fight? Sure enough, Wu Qing ignored Swift Wind's spiritual master's warning. He immediately waved his right arm, and the fist disappeared. His figure rushed to Wild Heaven's spiritual master's side. Obviously, he attached great importance to Wild Heaven. The lightning spear and the lightning hammer collided as expected. On the lightning spear, the purple lightning that could destroy a mountain peak was like the roar of a mad heaven as it poured down on the lightning hammer. On the lightning hammer, 8 lightning runes also left its body and condensed into a purple lightning hammer that hit the tip of the lightning spear. Boom! A roar that was several times louder than the previous one rang out. On the thunder hammer, spiderweb-like cracks rapidly appeared. Near the thunder spear, the void distorted. A strong spatial power leaked out, swallowing the brilliance of the thunder spear inch by inch. Kill! Heartless and Sage Windstorm roared at almost the same time. When the lightning faded, the thunder spear and the thunder hammer were revealed. The 2 magic treasures that were rarely seen by ordinary cultivators, under the full power of 2 middle nascent soul stage cultivators, created hundreds of spatial cracks on the tip of one of the magic treasures, while the other tore several inches of the void apart. Before the 2 magic weapons touched, the void in the middle had collapsed. Layers of dark space cracks appeared like huge tentacles, and the void cracks also flew out in the air. Unfortunately, in the blink of an eye, these void cracks were destroyed by the two magic weapons. Boom! Another loud noise sounded. The space in the nearest few miles was extremely shaken. The lightning in the thunder field was swaying, almost annihilated. Wow! The disciples of the Imperial Thunder sect had never seen such a shocking battle, and they couldn't help but cry out in surprise. The surprised voices of the disciples didn't stop, but they saw Crazy Heaven waving his hand to put away the lightning spear, sitting down cross-legged, and patting his own head. A nascent soul wearing a 5-colored spirit armor jumped out from the top of Crazy Heaven's head. As soon as the nascent soul appeared, it immediately moved its hands, and hundreds of crystal lights fell into the void, covering the surrounding dozens of miles of space with lightning. In a moment, it was imprisoned by Crazy Heaven's nascent soul. At the same time, Spiritual Master Jifeng, who was facing Crazy Heaven, also sat down cross-legged, but he didn't release his nascent soul. Instead, he rubbed his hands, and crystal lights fell into the void, imprisoning several miles of space. Woo-woo! The sound of wind whistling was heard again. Crazy Heaven's nascent soul and Spiritual Master Jifeng raised their hands at the same time. One was a giant lightning hand several acres in size, and the other was a nascent soul hand several acres in size. They surrounded Wu Qing and grabbed him. This move of Crazy Heaven and Spiritual Master Jifeng was more insidious than before. Between the two big hands, not to mention the space around Wu Qing was firmly imprisoned. Every inch of space was as hard as rock, and even the whole thunder field was imprisoned. Wu Qing found it difficult to breathe. Hee hee. Xiang Zhili sneered, "It's really funny, can you be more despicable? You're all nascent soul masters, but you're still so shameless, using the hands of nascent soul to attack. Isn't it a direct competition of magical power? If Wu Qing was an ordinary nascent soul middle-stage cultivator, wouldn't he have the same strength as Crazy Heaven? Isn't the early nascent soul stage Spiritual Master Jifeng the straw that broke the camel's back?" Unfortunately, Wu Qing was not an ordinary cultivator. Seeing the two huge nascent soul hands fall, Wu Qing's face didn't show any surprise. He just glanced at them indifferently, raised his hand, and clapped. Similarly, a nascent soul flew out from his head. This nascent soul was somewhat different from Crazy Heaven's nascent soul. The nascent soul didn't wear any spiritual armor. On the surface of the naked nascent soul, there were many lightning patterns that seemed to be natural runes all over the body. An indescribable power was born from these runes. Wu Qing's nascent soul was similar to his physical body. Sitting cross-legged, its two small hands grabbed towards the sky. In the space imprisoned by the nascent soul hands, countless magical power tenaciously penetrated like strands of hair and rushed straight into the sky. Boom! 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 Loud rumbles rang out again, and thunderclouds that were tens of miles in size appeared out of thin air above the thunder arena. As the thunderclouds rolled, more than 100 thunderbolts that were as thick as a child's arm rushed towards the imprisoned space like horned dragons. Thunderbolts poured down like a torrent, and the space that was as solid as a mountain rock was shattered in an instant. Buzz, buzz. The space was shattered into pieces, and the two huge yuanying hands were also broken into thousands of tiny pieces. Hiss. Not only Fairy Xianhua, but all the masters of Thunder Palace sucked in a cold breath. They looked at each other, and there was a look of disbelief in their eyes. Fairy Yao Feng even asked, "Junior brother Lei Meng, what do you think?" Shaking his head with a wry smile, Reverend Lei Meng said, "Wu Qing's response is far beyond Ai's expectations." Although Kuang Tian's thunderous hands and Swift Wind Daoist's nascent soul hands seemed to be in perfect harmony, in fact, Swift Wind Daoist's nascent soul hands are at a disadvantage. In my opinion, if Wu Qing were to counterattack, he could have used the same nascent soul hands to crush Swift Wind Daoist's nascent soul hands, and simply ignored Kuang Tian's thunderous hands. When Wu Qing crushed Swift Wind Daoist's nascent soul hands, he would have set off a storm of natural energy, and even created spatial cracks, which would have been enough to block the thunderous hands. However, Wu Qing did not choose the simplest and most advantageous shortcut, but chose the most difficult method, and this method was not used by a nascent soul cultivator. It is his best technique, the art of attracting lightning. That's right. Fairy Yao Feng said with a smile. It is extremely difficult for others to use the art of attracting lightning, but Yingying, Xiang Zhili, and Wu Qing seem to be born with it, and can use it casually. When one reaches Wu Qing's level, the power of the art of attracting lightning is no small matter. In I's opinion, with Wu Qing's original strength and this art of attracting lightning, I'm afraid he can contend with a late nascent soul cultivator. Although Wu Qing looks cold, he is also quite scheming. Although Zhu Xuanzi did not like the 10,000 Thunder Valley, seeing that Wu Qing had already grasped the initiative on the battlefield, he knew that the winner of this battle for the Palace Lord of the Heavenly Thunder Palace would definitely be Wu Qing if nothing unexpected happened. Therefore, he also spoke up. He used his absolute strength to deter the two challengers from the Heavenly Thunder Palace, wanting to achieve the effect of not shedding any blood. Lei Tingzi sneered and said, if Wu Qing's opponent was someone else, this move would naturally work. But his opponent is Kuang Tian Daoist, who calls himself Kuang Tian. He is originally arrogant, so how could he put such a small deterrent in his eyes? In particular, he has been scheming for the position of Heavenly Thunder Palace Lord for dozens of years, so how could he give it up in the end and make a wedding dress for others? Sure enough, under the heavy blow of the Heavenly Thunder, Kuang Tian Daoist's lightning hand quickly collapsed, and the power of the backlash was like a rising tide, rushing toward Kuang Tian Daoist. Kuang Tian Daoist's Yuanying was really full of lightning, and his face was strangely flushed. Not daring to be negligent, the Yuanying hurriedly entered his physical body. When Kuang Tian Daoist opened his eyes were unexpectedly blood-red. Damn it! Kuang Tian Daoist roared. His right arm shook, and the lightning spear strangely appeared in his right hand. Then, Kuang Tian suddenly raised his hand. Rumble! The long spear pierced into the air, and hundreds of lightning bolts turned into spirit snakes that pounced on the incoming force. At the same time, Kuang Tian opened his mouth. Woo-woo! A wolf-like roar came out of his mouth. Immediately, a fist-sized lightning bolt appeared on top of his head. This lightning bolt had 8 colors and was shaped like a lotus. An indescribable power was born from this lightning bolt and disappeared into the nearby void. This. Fairy Xianhua frowned and looked at Kuang Tian Daoist with some puzzlement. What kind of method is this? How can it be so powerful? But, it doesn't seem to be a secret technique of my Imperial Thunder Sect. Thinking of this, Fairy Xianhua's heart stirred. Looking at the disciples of Heavenly Thunder Palace in the distance, she saw Qian Diheng, the master of the Rejuvenation Chamber of Commerce, looking at them with interest with a smile on his face. Fairy Xianhua already understood that this was a secret technique that the Rejuvenation Chamber of Commerce had obtained from other places in the Cultivation 3 Kingdoms. In the blink of an eye, the lightning spear above Kuang Tian Daoist's head changed. Like a flower blooming, the lightning spear waved out threads of lightning, and the center of the lightning spear turned into a fist-sized whirlpool. The lightning spear entered the void, and the whirlpool gave birth to a powerful suction force that spread to the sky. Rumble. In the whistling of the wind, countless spiritual energy of heaven and earth crashed into this whirlpool. In just a few breaths, a hurricane funnel the size of several mu had already formed above Kuang Tian Daoist's head. When the hurricane fell into the whirlpool, it instantly turned into crystal-like threads of lightning that entered Kwang Tian Daoist's head. As the threads of lightning entered, Kwang Tian Daoist's body flashed with lightning. His joints overflowed with the sound of thunder, and his body rapidly expanded. Thunder Dharma body. This is the Thunder Dharma body. Fairy Xianhua's heart fiercely jumped, and she bitterly said to herself, when did this Thunder Dharma body become so worthless? When senior brother Qian Lei was still alive, he was the only one who could use it. Today, I just used it, and then Xiang Zhili and Wu Qing appeared. If it's not unexpected, then Wu Qing should also be able to use it. Unexpectedly. Kwang Tian Daoist can also use it. Alas, is it that my Imperial Thunder Sect's strength has improved, or is it that I'm no longer strong enough to suppress them? P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please go to Qidian to subscribe to support, vote for a monthly vote, vote for a recommendation vote, bookmark, and reward. Thank you for all forms of support. Thank you to Half-Sentence Jeanshire for your reward. /o// Chapter 5134. With the help of the secret technique, Crazy Heaven activated his Thunder Dharma body, which instantly grew to a height of more than 10 zhang. The thunder spear in his right hand also slowly grew as the lightning surged in. A thunder war god was about to take shape. Seeing Crazy Heaven's Thunder Dharma body produce an indescribable deterrence that gradually enveloped the entire thunder arena, Wu Qing was still not particularly moved. His nascent soul only watched calmly. When Crazy Heaven's gaze was like lightning, as if provoking him, the nascent soul that was covered with lightning patterns returned to his body. When Wu Qing opened his eyes, he faintly swept a glance at the incoming power. With a flash of his body, he flew to one side of the thunder arena for a moment, pulling away from Crazy Heaven. Wu Qing didn't seem to have done anything, but countless thunderous sounds were produced from the void near him. Then, a series of sounds spread to the sky. In just a few breaths, the other half of the thunder arena was enveloped by this thunderstorm. The swift-wind spiritual master, who had been reduced to a supporting role, was awkwardly pushed to the edge of the thunder arena by the thunderstorm sounds and the power of the Thunder Dharma body. However, the swift-wind spiritual master wasn't discouraged. He hastily patted his own head, and a strange whistling sound of wind also rose. A suction force was produced from the surface of his body. This suction force rushed into the sky, trying its best to snatch the spiritual chi of heaven and earth that was occupied by Wu Qing and Crazy Heaven. As the spiritual chi of heaven and earth entered his body, Swift-Wind Spiritual Master's body flashed with faint threads of lightning. His whole body changed, and a shadow gradually appeared on the surface of his body. Obviously, he also wanted to activate his Dharma body to cooperate with Crazy Heaven. Unfortunately, before his Dharmakaya could show its embryonic form, the thunderstorm controlled by Wu Qing suddenly appeared on the left side of the thunder arena. Thousands of thunderstorms bloomed like fireworks, and thousands of thunderbolts rushed out from the thunderstorm and entered Wu Qing's body like thousands of streams returning to their origin. Awe! Seeing so many thunderbolts hitting Wu Qing, even Fairy Xianhua couldn't help but open her mouth in surprise and cry out, "What is Wu Qing doing? Just wait and see." Thunder Mang Daoist's eyes were as bright as the stars, truly as bright as the morning star high up in the sky. He seemed to have understood something, and answered somewhat excitedly, "Perhaps Wu Qing has some sort of surprise for us." Sure enough, as Thunderbolt's spiritual master's voice fell, Merciless let out a long howl towards the sky. His originally ordinary body suddenly flashed with blinding lightning. Within this lightning, countless lightning runes emerged from the surface of Merciless' body. These lightning runes spun madly and vibrated madly. Under these lightning runes, purplish-black scales began to spread. These scales were only the size of a thumb at first, but as Merciless' body expanded, so did the scales. Moreover, under the scales, Wu Qing's originally pale skin became even darker. Faint lightning gradually condensed on the surface of his pitch-black body between the scales. Not only that, but as Wu Qing's body mutated, two pitch-black wings sprouted from Wu Qing's back. The pressure of a mid-nascent soul stage cultivator gradually appeared around Wu Qing, and as Wu Qing's body grew stronger and stronger, in the end, when Wu Qing's body had expanded to 200 feet, the pressure he exuded had reached the late nascent soul stage. Wu Qing actually had the strength of a late nascent soul stage cultivator. At this moment, Wu Qing had already transformed into the Thunder Beast's celestial body. This celestial body was pitch black, and its body was covered in scales. Each scale was several feet in size. Behind the celestial body, a pair of wings that were several hundred feet in size flapped in the air. Countless purplish-black lightning flashed from these wings. Looking at Wu Qing's originally ice-cold face, it had now become indigo. A layer of fine scales covered his entire face. His two eyes protruded slightly, and layers of golden light shone from his bell-like eyes. His originally thin, pursed lips were now sharp and protruding, like a bird's beak. As for the top of his head, flaming lightning lit up the entire lightning arena. The pressure comparable to a late nascent soul stage cultivator was emitted from this lightning. After Wu Qing displayed the Thunder Beast's celestial body, except for the wings on his back, his arms had expanded to several hundred feet in length. The thunder hammer that he had previously summoned was now in his right hand. The thunder hammer was several hundred feet in size, and it flashed with lightning. Its power was boundless. No. It can't be. Fairy Xianhua was dumbfounded, and Fairy Yao Feng and the other palace masters were dumbfounded. They really did not expect that Wu Qing, who had just stepped into the middle nascent soul stage, would have the strength of a late nascent soul stage cultivator after transforming into the Thunder Beast's celestial body. If that was the case, not to mention the Heavenly Thunder Palace, even the entire thunder-controlling sect, would be hard to find a match for him. Thunder Talisman Reverend was not that surprised. After all, he had seen Xiang Zhili display his strength. As for Fairy Yao Feng, she naturally revealed a wry smile. Cui Yingying would never display such an ugly Thunder Beast celestial body unless it was a matter of life and death. Thunder Talisman Reverend smiled, looked at Fairy Yao Feng, and said in a low voice, "The matter is settled." Fairy Yao Feng shook her head slightly, and even stole a glance at Fairy Xianhua. Although she did not say a word, her expression showed that she would not be surprised even if Wu Qing took down the thunder-controlling sect master. Damn it! If Fairy Yao Feng could think of it, how could Fairy Xianhua not think of it? In addition to the bitterness in her mouth, Fairy Xianhua also felt a strong uneasiness and unwillingness in her heart. She already knew Master Qianlei's intention, and she also knew the role of Wu Qing. She could not help but curse in a low voice, biting her lips tightly, and watching how Wu Qing defeated Kuang Tian. Everything seemed to be settled, but Kuang Tian was not moved. Seeing the pressure of Wu Qing's Thunder Beast celestial body firmly suppressing him, his eyes turned blood red, and his huge Thunder Beast celestial body continued to expand rapidly. When his celestial body had expanded to more than 1,000 feet in size, Kuang Tian roared again and spat out a mouthful of blood essence. As he waved his hands, a thick crystal light rushed into his blood essence, and with the incantation, the blood essence also turned into the shape of thunder fire. Boom! When the thunder fire reached its peak, Kuang Tian sent it into his Thunder Beast celestial body. A huge roar came from his body again, and hundreds of vortexes appeared on the surface of his celestial body. These vortexes were like the small mouths of babies, greedily sucking in the nearby heaven and earth spiritual chi. Woo woo woo. As the heaven and earth spiritual chi entered his body again, Kuang Tian's celestial body also rose up. The celestial body also released a pressure that reached the level of Wu Qing's celestial body. Gradually, under the pressure of Wu Qing, Kuang Tian's celestial body approached the late Yuanying stage. Not good. Seeing Kuang Tian in such a state, Lightning Bolt Venerable could not help but exclaim in a low voice. He said regretfully, Kuang Tian is going all out. With his strength, how can he control the pressure of a late-stage nascent soul cultivator? Even if he can win this battle, he will suffer great losses once he leaves the Thunder Arena. This is not a battle of life and death, so why is he going all out? In Kuang Tian's eyes, this is a battle of life and death. Lightning Bolt Venerable said indifferently. Rather than being mercilessly beaten down by a junior, he might as well fight to the death. Look at his lightning spear and the surface of his body. There are already traces of blood. If nothing unexpected happens, this battle for the position of Heavenly Thunder Palace's Palace Lord will be decided in one strike. With the two of them fighting so hard, Wind Venerable might be able to reap the benefits. Fairy Scenic Peak said worriedly. Xing Yunzi glanced at Wind Venerable, who had been squeezed into a corner, and said with a smile, Wu Qing and Kuang Tian are both late-stage nascent soul cultivators, while Wind Venerable is only at early-stage nascent soul. Even if the two of them are injured, he will definitely not be able to gain an advantage. That's true. Fairy Scenic Peak nodded slightly. She shifted her gaze away from Wind Venerable and looked at Wu Qing and Kuang Tian again. It was not that the crowd was underestimating Wind Venerable. Under the radiance of the two experts, Wind Venerable was frantically absorbing heaven and earth spirit chi. His body was rapidly expanding, and layers of golden scales even appeared on the surface of his body. The heaven and earth spirit chi nearby turned into a hurricane and rushed into the gaps between the scales. However, this phenomenon was covered by lightning. Compared to the might of a late-stage nascent soul cultivator, it was really like the light of a firefly. However, Wind Venerable was equally unyielding. His seemingly calm eyes gradually flashed with a faint golden brilliance. Fairy Scenic Peak's gaze had just landed on Kuang Tian when he roared, Wu Qing, I'll fight it out with you. This roar was really like a thunderclap. Many Imperial Thunder Sect disciples with shallow cultivation trembled and fell from the sky. Even if they were still standing in mid-air, their hearts were abnormally terrified. Following this roar, Kuang Tian stepped on the lightning and danced with the lightning spear in his hand. With the courage of 10,000 men, he charged towards Wu Qing. However, wherever Kuang Tian's figure passed, cracks appeared in the void. An indescribable restrictive force was emitted from the lightning spear. It was like the suffocating force before a storm, firmly covering half of the Imperial Thunder Plain. At the tip of the lightning spear, traces of lightning condensed but did not shoot out. Dong, dong, dong. Kuang Tian first flew, but after flying for hundreds of feet, he took a step forward again. Step by step, he stepped in mid-air. It was like the sound of a drum that rang above the Thunder Mountain range. This sound not only shook the hearts of all the Imperial Thunder Sect disciples, but also shattered the darkness before dawn. The hearts of all the Imperial Thunder Sect disciples could not help but clench together. Kuang Tian's berserk aura was like this, so he naturally bore the brunt of Wu Qing's attack. However, Wu Qing, who had transformed into the Thunder Beast Dharma body, had no other color in his eyes except for the golden light. The lightning wings on his back spread out, turning into the most gorgeous lightning in the night sky. He waved his lightning hammer to meet the lightning spear. Wherever the lightning hammer passed, the void would fold. Waves of obscure spatial fluctuations were rapidly produced. Thousands of lightning bolts pierced through the void, producing strange whistling sounds. The magic power that was like a torrential flood rushed towards Kuang Tian along with the Thunder Beast Dharma body. The dew that had condensed within a dozen miles instantly turned into nothingness. P.S. Fellow Taoists who like this book, please subscribe to it at Chidien, vote for it, give it a recommendation vote, collect it, and reward it. Thank you for all forms of support. Thank you to half-sentence Jeanshire for your reward. /*o/ You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.